Okay, welcome everybody to Coffee and Art in the Morning, the first show of 2018. Welcome everybody. Today we're going to do a show and tell and a book haul. So let me catch my breath. Just ran downstairs. Hey G, how you doing? G, have you got your markers yet? Well, you probably didn't because of the holiday, but they've been sent to you, G. So good morning everybody. Thanks everybody for being here. Yesterday we had our pretty much 24-hour streamathon to bring in the 2018 to everybody around the world. And so it was awesome. And probably most of the girls probably recorded. And we'll probably have their videos up on YouTube at some point. But if you want to see the list of everybody that streamed, go to Jean's blog, themusicalscrapper.blogspot. That's Jean. And although she had some technical difficulties with the chat halfway through her stream, so hopefully she at least recorded at least half of her show. Maybe she just went ahead and finished it, but the rest of us couldn't get in her chat the last half. But I think everybody else got their streams done. So, and we wanted to thank Jean again for hosting it, putting it all together, scheduling it, blogging it, and everything else. So, thank you, Sassy Pants. So, okay, G. So I just wanted to do a little review. These were the booklets, the Traveler's inserts that I collaged and mixed media on, and these were my giveaways yesterday. I did finish painting them this morning. I painted the insides, back cover. I signed them, dated them, and finished painting them this morning. So the ones that won were Kmore, and then I don't know how to pronounce her name, Z. I just call her Z. You know, we have two Z's. Z is Zandra, but this one is maybe Zai. And then the third one that won was Picola. So I got them all painted and ready to go. So I'll get these shipped out hopefully tomorrow. So thanks everybody for being here at my stream first thing yesterday. Bless thanks CBC. So yeah, so those were what I made yesterday for the giveaways, and like I said, those will go out. I have no place to put anything. Okay, so I did a little shopping. I've done a little, and of course I had all kinds of gift cards from Amazon, Barnes and Noble. I went to Books A Million, and I love books. Hubster and I are both big readers, so we had a lot of books, and I'm going to show those. But let's see. First, I did want to say, and I got these for Paula and for Wee Hootie, which is Judy. We call her Wee Hootie. They couldn't find these rulers in their Michaels, and I bought the last two. I have one, and then I bought one for Paula and one for Wee Hootie. And I got the mini travelers for our Janet, and I just wanted to show it to you because it's really cool, and I bought her some inserts. But look how pretty shiny gold on the inside. This is what it comes like this, and they'll soften and bend to hold, more and more, however many, I think this is called, was it not the Passport? What's this size called? Is it the Passport? Not Passport. Anyway, it's a smaller traveler's journal, and it just feels like suede. It feels so good. Anyway, these are all at Michael's, and last week, all their planners, and this is all their new stuff, which I did a little haul last week and showed you some of the stuff I bought in their new planner section, and everything was 60% off. Plus, they had 50% coupons all week, so yeah, I can't resist that. But I wanted you to see that this was, I think they're like $9 regularly, but I got them for like $3.99. And the same thing for these. I think I got these for like $2 or $3. It came in a pack of 3. These come in a pack of 3. I'm not sure. I think these are like $9 regularly. But I got them for like $3. Everything was 60% off. So we just got that for our little Miss Janet. What's the name of the ruler? Ruler by Recollections. Seriously, that's what it's called, ruler. The ISBN, if you want that. I'm not sure if the 1 and the 2 are part of the ISBN, but there's a 1, and then it's 91518544499, and then there's a 2 at the side. So I don't know if that 1 and 2 are part of the number or if it's just that center number. But, and these were, I think they're regularly like $5. That's what it says. Look, ruler. And it says it, I think, in Spanish and French. I don't know. But anyway, but they were, because of the 60% off, I think they were $1.99. So I bought the last 2. So I have 1 and Paula and Wee Hootie. So there's that. And then Janet's doing a scavenger hunt. And so I decided to use, y'all know that Annie, my daughter, Annie sent me a gift card for Barnes & Noble, but she also sent me these 3 deconstructed, they're decomposition books. They're 100% post-consumer waste recycled pages. And she sent me 2 spiral ones. This one's kind of got a slick surface. These 3 have like that cloth feeling. And so she sent me 2 spirals and 2 just regular composition books, but look how cool they are on the inside. I've shown it already, and I did kind of really show them in detail last week. And then these right here, I think this has the same. That one has the same, and then these have like the cloth kind inside. Hey, Beanie Jeannie. Is that Beanie or is that Jeannie? Is it Jeannie? And so I got these 3 from Annie. Y'all know we all love our books. I make them, I buy them, I get them for gifts. So I got 3 of those from Annie, and I'm going to use this one for Janet's scavenger hunt. My camera's a little, let's get that little, there we go. So I'm going to use this one for Janet's scavenger hunt. It's already designated. It's designated, Janet. Okay, so let's put that. And then last week I also showed that I got this this Jane Davenport journal, and we're just talking about this before I hit record. Happy New Year, Scoops! Anybody else popping in? Kimberly? So this, and I won't do a full-on flip of it because I showed it a couple of times already, but I just wanted to show you again that if you get a journal that has some decent dividers in it, like this Jane Davenport one, but there's no tabs on it. What I did is I just took my circle punch, and punched out the circles, cut them in half, and glued them on either side of the heavy cardstock, you know, like January. This one's March, and so that they have their own dividers because they didn't have them. And I have to have my dividers. This is the book I'm going to use for my video notes, my video log, my YouTube video log. And by the way, I think we're close to 850 videos, and we've topped 17,000 subbies on YouTube. So thank you, subbies on YouTube. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so this will be my log for videos, and for Hubster and I, when we go out, do metal detecting. We're going to visit some sites around Georgia this coming year. We have 10 things picked out, and I've said it before, including we want to go to the Bigfoot Museum. I want to get back down to Sonoa, to the Walking Dead, town, and do some other things. I want to go to the Georgia Mounds. There's a whole bunch of things we want to do. So this will be my video log, and I'm going to keep it just for that. There may or may not be much in it by the end of the year. And I also put in here, washi taped in some Post-it note. These are on a cardstock, and there's a bunch of Post-it notes here. So I just put that on here, so if I need to tab anything. So this will be just for my videos and our excursions. I'm just kind of showing y'all how I'm working this year out. And then Eileen had sent me this little one. This is the Dilutions Diary with the Y. And I can't, there's no way I can do justice to this after seeing Eileen's. Eileen is rocking the painting in this one. But this is a Diane Reevely Dilutions Diary, both with Y's. Diary with the Y, D-Y. And I was planned on using this for practicing some brush lettering, but I don't know. I plan on doing brush lettering demos. I don't like to call them tutorials or classes because I'm going to be practicing right along with you guys. Now I am, I was a professional calligrapher years ago, and I still do a minimal amount of calligraphy, not like I did back in the 80s. But I never really got much into brush lettering. I did, we all draw letters and do things, illustrative type lettering here and there. But I never really got much into the brush lettering or drawing and painting letters. So I kind of want to do that this year. And I did buy a couple of books. Yeah, oh, we'd love to have you on a Georgia trip, Jamie. Yeah, Denise would be thrilled too. Would Jamie and her husband visit us it's been a couple, 3, 4, how many years has it been since you were here, Jamie? And Denise was here, my daughter Denise, and she and Jamie were like this. It's like, hello, Jamie. But it was fun. So anyway, I'm not sure if I'm going to use this for brush lettering or what. There's no way I could paint it anywhere as near as Eileen. Eileen has been, I think, using the Dilutions paints with sponges and rubbing them in and blending. Oh my gosh, they're awesome pages, Eileen. Oh, there she is. Hi, Eileen. Didn't even know you were here. And hey, Paula. Good to see you too. Thanks, everybody. Okay, so there's that. And of course, color books all year long. I picked up. I gotta show this. I picked up 3 more of these travelers at Michael's. Right. Oh, and here, Paula. See, here's your ruler, Paula. You and Wee Hootie. You got a ruler coming, and I can't tell you what it's called. It's just called a ruler. But anyway, it has the dots in it. The holes. The holes are all in it. So I'm waiting for Janet to really do a demo for us on this ruler. But anyway, I got you and Wee Hootie the last 2 at Michael's. So I got these just because they were cute and everything was 60% off. So like these 3, I think they're like normally like $9 or maybe 10, but everything was 60% off. So I did with my Michael's gift card. I got Michael gift cards. So y'all saw last week I'd set up my this is my older Jane Davenport travelers, and I'd set this up with a new stuff in it, and it's all doubled up. I think there's 10 inserts in this one, and then I had bought a whole bunch more of the inserts at Michael's when they were on sale, and I just had them stacked up. Well, I couldn't just have them stacked up and be lonely. They couldn't be lonely, so I had to get the other Jane Davenport canvas, the thick canvas travelers, and set up the second one. So I was telling the girls I am set up, and see, I double them up, so that's why one sticks out further than the other, because I double them up. You can just and you can connect them to each other as well, but I also double them up, so there's 10 in here. So I am set for writing, journaling, note taking, book notes, book reviews, any kind of annotations. You're welcome, Paula. That I could possibly use. So I said all that to say I'll probably end up giving these away because I'm full up. I am full up. Okay, so there's all that for giveaways. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the books. Oh, let me show you here. I'm going to show you the ruler unpacked because I'm not going to unpack Paula's and Wee Hootie's. So it looks like this. It's got the lines. Let me get a white piece of paper. Do I have a piece of paper anywhere? Just a plain paper. Oh, that's under all these books. Hang on. Okay. So you can see it's got the angles, the degrees, and all those dots are holes. See, there you go. You can see it there. So I'm waiting for Janet to do us a nice ruler demo. Okay. So let's see now. Let's move on to books. All right, let me show you what Hubster, where's his? What did I do? Oh. So these are some of Hubster's. All right, so the rest of this is going to be books. So sit back, get your coffee. So this is one that I got him these books for Christmas. Got him the George Lucas Alive, and he is loving this book. And you can see he's that far into it. So yeah, and he's like me. We both will read more than one book at a time. As long as, for me, I don't know about him, but for me, as long as books are different enough, like if one's a biography, one's a science fiction, one's a, something, as long as they're very different, a mystery, then I can read multiple books. I don't want to read two mysteries at the same time because they're, not that I couldn't distinguish all the characters in multiple books, but I don't like to tax my brain to do so when I don't need to. So as long as I'm reading various books on different topic, totally different from each other, then I can read multiple books at one time. So this is Brian J. Jones, George Lucas, A Life, and it's all about it's his biography. Okay. Hey, Kat. So I guess I could give you all the ISBNs, but it's probably not even necessary. You can go on Amazon, look up George Lucas Alive, Brian J. Jones. Okay. This one, Hubster loves vintage, old movies, westerns, and just old movies. He and his mom both. His mom could tell you, she could tell you any character in any movie pre-1960, any movie. She would know who was in it, who played, with who, the year. She could tell you all about old movies. Well, Hubster's like that too. Amazon, your Amazon's closed for 2018, Eileen? Yeah, right. So anyway, Hubster's always loved old movies, Hollywood biographies, stories about mysteries and murders and mayhem in Hollywood. Anyway, so this one is about John Wayne and what's his name, Ford. And see, he's already into this one too. The director, Ford. So anyway, he's reading this one. And then the other one, he's halfway through this one too. Hank and Jim. This is the 50-year friendship of Henry Fonda and James Stewart. Got this one at Barnes & Noble, so it was, we're members of Barnes & Noble, Books A Million. You get discounts and all. And this one's by Scott Eyman. And it's also by the same author that wrote John Wayne, which he has that book too. So, yeah. This one was by Nancy Schoenberger. And this one is by Scott Eyman. So you can see he's deep into all three of those. And yeah, I know, right? Jen reading with pugs. Jen's a booktuber and a color tuber. So so those are the ones he's reading. All right, so I got this book for whatever reason took a while to get here. I think somehow got misdirected, and I have some other books by him. I didn't bring them up here because I didn't get them in this book haul. I have some other books by him too, Symbology and Treasure Hunting and all that. And this one got misdirected. It took like 2 weeks to get to me. I don't know why, but I finally got it and I've already read it. It's 10 Treasure Legends in Georgia, Lost Gold, Hidden Hoards, and Fantastic Fortunes. And it's by Hutton Pulitzer. J. Hutton Pulitzer. We call him Hutton, but anyway, that's what he looks like. You might recognize him. He was on one of the seasons of Oak Island. One of the, I think it was season 3. He was on there. Anyway, he has written a book. I think he's written one on every state. I don't know about Hawaii. I think he's done Alaska, but he has hundreds of books out. Just go on Amazon, look up J. Hutton Pulitzer, and I think he goes by Commander Pulitzer. You'll find, just look up, you'll find him. It's not hard to find him. He's got lots and lots of books. Anyway, so I've already read this one, and it's big, large print type, because what he does is he gives you the legends. Well, first he talks about a little bit of history of archaeology, a little bit of history, what it means to be an archaeologist and a treasure hunter. And then he talks a little bit about ways to treasure hunt, ways to explore, what to look for, how to do research, how to research old records, and all the different things you have to do to find the treasure of legends. Then he gives you 10 legends, and then behind each one he gives you worksheets to work out all the different your notes and everything. So I've already read this. Of course, it's big type. It didn't take me, it probably took me a couple hours to read the whole book. But anyway, he has treasure legends on every state. I think every state in the United States. And then some. He's got way more than just I don't even know how many hundreds of books. And he's also an inventor. If I'm not mistaken, he is the one that invented the squares. These right here, the scanning squares. I think he's the one that invented those. So anyway, yeah, and I follow him on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And if you want to follow him, he's History Heretic. History Heretic. And you can sign up for an email a day. You don't have to, but if you want to email every day, if you just want some interesting history and exploration and discoveries around the world, he's awesome to follow. But he speaks his mind. Let me just say that right up front. You follow him, you will see he speaks his mind. So don't, if you're one that's easily offended, don't email me, okay? So anyway, yeah, this one is 10 Treasure Legends, Georgia, Lost Gold, Hidden Hoards, and Fantastic Fortunes. And again, you can get this for every state. Yeah, we go, hey Jill, Hubster and I we used to do more metal detecting, so we're kind of going back to it this year and doing some more outdoor things together. And we have 10 places we want to visit so far on our list of things we want to do this year. Plus, we just go out and metal detect. It's just fun. Just get you out of the house, traipsing through the woods, whatever. Whether we find anything or just, get out there, whatever. It's just fun to get out there. So there's that one. Okay, I did do a little bit of talking about this one. And I've been wanting to read this book since 2013. I think Paula and Janet bought it when it first came out, and I said, I don't know, I don't want to spend $40. It's expensive. It's an expensive book, but I did get it on Amazon. It was cheaper. But it's by J.J. Abrams, if y'all know J.J. Abrams, and a co-author, Doug Dorst, and they both have read it. I don't know how much they like it. I don't know that Paula's read it. I think Janet read it. I don't know how much they liked it, but I've wanted to read this I think it came out in 2013. So I've been wanting to read it for, a few years. But anyway, it has this big S on it, and I'm not going to get into too much of what all the symbology and things mean because I don't want to ruin it for anybody. But it's the Ship of Thesis, and it's a fiction. This is not a real story, right? But what they did is they made up a story, and they made it to look like an old library book. So the premise of this is a doctorate student who is researching, supposedly this author, Straka, is supposedly researching the backstory and the mystery of Straka. And so he had this was his last, again, this is a fictional character and a fictional title. But he was writing his doctorate on Straka, and he has to hurry up and get all of it solved before another professor is trying to steal his material. So anyway, he had left this book in the library where another student, just a regular college student, found it, and they started writing notes to each other. Well, what happened was she found the book with already annotations in it. So she started to figure out who was the person that was annotating the book. I have this book, Dee. You have not read it. Terry has it. Janet liked it. I should read it again. That's what Janet says. So anyway, they start writing notes to each other. And he, the guy is who wrote the first annotations and got the girl's interest. So it's a guy and a girl got the girl's interest. So they start writing notes to each other and leaving the book for each other to find. Now the thing about this book, it kind of reminds me of what do you call it? Nick Bantock's. Why is the word slipping? Griffin and Sabine. The Griffin and Sabine books where there's all kinds of little things. And also I have another author that does this, Barbara Hodges, that puts all these kind of things in it. So this book has all kinds of, and I have a note here. Let me take this off here. Have all kinds of copies. So they're leaving each other this information, this research. And it's loose in here. So you got to be careful. I think I'm going to paper clip them all in or washi tape them all in so I don't, because they go with that chapter or those pages. So I don't really want to get these out of order. But they have all kinds of inserts like this in them. I mean, tons. Let me just kind of show you here. See, they have all kinds of letters that correspond. And from what I understand, I haven't got past their initial conversations, but apparently they go back and there's a second. So like, for instance, the first read through, they're writing to each other in black and blue pen. Okay. But there's also red and yellow. So apparently you have to go back and reread it again for their second correspondence, their second go through the book. And so there's just all kinds of little clues. There's a napkin. There's a napkin with writing on it. Little cards, little notes. And I love this kind of stuff. There's a little photograph. A thick letter. I don't know how many pages is in that. There's a whole bunch of pages of yellow note paper. You put yours in an envelope in order. But then, did you write the page number down? Did you write the page number down, Janet, so that you could remember where it went? Because they correspond to that page. Postcards, pictures, another postcard, letters. So again, and you see all the annotations in the book. Tons. Every page is annotated because he's trying to sort through his dissertation that's getting ready to be stolen, and that's as far as I really have got as far as their plot. The girl and the guy. I'm following more about the mystery than I am their personal. Isn't that terrible? I don't care about them. I want to solve the mystery. But anyway, so. And the whole thing look, here's the back here. Oh, there's a little charts here. There's little, I think he supposedly stole the book from the library, but the last return date was 2000. And this is supposed to be like 2013 when it came out. That's the date of when this book came out. And it comes in a nice sleeve. It does come completely sealed so that you have all your inserts in there. I would not recommend buying this book if the seal has been seal's been broken. It also came plastic, wrapped. It also came wrapped. You left them right where they were and was careful. Oh, okay. Okay, Janet. I wrote the page number on each insert in case they found. So, Jan, have you read the whole book too, or are you still reading it? So, anyway, if you do buy this book, make sure you buy it new and with the seal unbroken, because I had to cut it to get it out, right? And plus, the other thing with this is all the footnotes are important because that's all clues. Remember, this is a fiction book. all the footnotes are clues too. So I have to read this book with the magnifying glass at hand. I can read the main text, but some of the annotations are very faded, and of course the footnotes are very tiny. So I have to read this book with the magnifying glass in my hand, which I don't mind. I don't mind. You're still reading it? So yeah, so that's this one. And I keep it just standing up in the sleeve until I get them all paper clipped or put in an envelope or something. So I don't want to drop the book and have them all go flying. So I just keep it in the little dust jacket until I read it. So it just kind of sits on my shelf of my current reading in my I have on my dresser. On my dresser, it's all books. My whole top of my dresser, I have my little makeup bag and a jewelry box, and everything else is books. And my side table next to my bed are all books. So, and note taking and travelers. You just added it to your cart? Yeah. So I don't know how much it was. It's normally like, I think, $40. But I got it, of course, cheaper on Amazon. But anyway, so yeah. All right, so there's that one. Now we're going to get into some art books, I think. Well, I got a couple other things, too. Let me show you this one. Well, let me show you this one. Okay, so I did show this one. And I'm not going to do the reading that I did in it yesterday. In my yesterday's video in the Streamathon, at the end of the Streamathon, after I finished making my little giveaway Traveler's Insert Collage Mixed Media, which I did finish painting this morning, by the way. I painted the backs, the fronts, signed them, dated them. So the 3 people that won these, I'll send these out tomorrow. So anyway, at the end of that show, we had a little time left, so I went through this flow book. It's called A Book That Takes Its Time, An Unhurried Adventure in Creative Mindfulness. And I did not know Janet had this book. I knew she had a mindfulness book, but I did not know it was this one. Either she didn't record it or I missed that part or something. But I don't know, I didn't see the recording of Janet. I love to have seen Janet's gone through this whenever she got it. I heard she had got a mindfulness book. It's been a couple, 2-3 weeks. And I thought it was one of their usual booklet type books. Magazine type books. I did not know that this was the one that she got, or I would have rushed right out and bought it. Hey, Kingor. Hey, yeah. So I found it at Barnes and Noble, the one up by Denise, and I spent all my gift card money. My Michaels, I got my Hobby Lobby, my Barnes and Noble, my Books A Million, my Amazon. I spent all my Christmas money on books and travelers' journals, pretty much. So yeah, Daisy, yeah. So I did a really in-depth go through of this at the end of yesterday's video. So if you go to my Streamathon video, which is now up on YouTube, and go to, like, say, maybe the last 45 minutes, we go through this book. So it's a hardback book, and I'll tell you the contents and I'll do a little flip through, but I'm not going to read all the subtitles and everything that I did. It's put out by Flow, which is a magazine that is published in Dutch and English, and it's imported. So anything you buy from Flow is a little on the pricey side. This one was $27.50, which to me is cheaper for I think it was put out by Workman in New York, so maybe this one didn't have to be imported, whereas all their magazines are imported and they're more expensive. To me, they're fully worth it, especially if you get a Flow book for paper lovers, which are a little bit smaller than this, but it's all paper. It's all decorative paper, tags, cards, pull-outs, punch-outs, tear-outs. So this one has a lot of that as well, but their Flow book for paper lovers comes out a couple, maybe twice a year. I'm not sure. It's totally worth the $30 that you pay for those books, and they are imported. Okay, so this is the contents. The time is now. Time to breathe. Time to learn. Time to create. Time to reflect. Time to let go. Time to be kind. And it's all about, like, chillaxing. And so I'm just going to kind of do a little flip through here so you can kind of see there's lots of articles. Here's a bunch of perforated little cards, beautiful moment, to make a beautiful moment jar. And there's pages of those. And I'm just going to kind of really flow through this book because I want to get to all the books that I want to show you. Poems, articles, celebrate the wait. Here's the joy of one thing at a time. And all their little booklets and inserts like this, they're glue dotted in. And so they have little notebooks and journals. And that's pretty much true in all their magazines and in their paper books. They have little, so you can see why it's a little bit more expensive. All these hand glued in type of inserts. Are we zoomed in enough, guys? Do I need to click in one? I could probably click in one. That might be a little better. There we go. And so yeah, so there's all kinds of lists and charts and ideas. And I was saying when I showed this the first time yesterday that if you don't feel like you're going to mess up this book by writing in it, take the ideas, take the list, take the charts, take the question and answers, take all that and transfer those into whatever kind of, if you're using one of a Traveler's, and you all know I have my syllables binder for the new year, 52 weeks of making a page a week. If you want to transfer your stuff into that, if you're just using a composition book for your note-taking, idea collecting for the year. And I recommend, even if you just have a MOLI, a composition book, something, you need to write your ideas down. Because if you don't write your ideas down, trust me, they will flitter away out of your mind. And the other thing, too, is if you, other than losing the good ideas you might have, if you don't write them down, then they're cluttering your mind. Then the ones that you really want to explore and look into and evaluate, they're going to clutter up your mind because you're going to be concentrating on it. So you're going to concentrate on that one idea so hard that all the other ideas are not there. Because you're only thinking about one thing at a time. So you need to write it down to free up space. Hey, Julie Topaz. Free up space in your mind to have new ideas. So again, there's our Society of Idea Collectors, and any kind of journal. I've shown you all different ones: the Travelers, the composition books, the binders. Now, for me personally, these are the kind of things that I have for quick notes. If I'm taking notes on a book or whatever, these are more quicker notes that I fill these up with, whereas in-depth study or in-depth, anything more in-depth is going to be in my binder. Plus my syllables, where I do the page a week, that's all in a binder because I like to be able to take things out, move things around. Plus I like a lot of real estate to mind map, list make, explore ideas. I need bigger paper than my Travelers. It's hard for me to mind map because I write tiny as it is, but to mind map very much. To mind map in a Traveler's journal just doesn't work for me. If it may work for you, my mind maps can take up pages and pages. So I feel too confined in a Traveler's. My Travelers are great, perfect for note-taking, jotting down things, quick ideas, things like that. But if I want to do more mind mapping, exploring, I have to have a big sheet of paper. Oh, good, Pacola. And I don't know if you were here, Pacola. I did finish because Pacola won one of these. Let's see. This one's the one she won. I did finish painting them. I did go ahead and paint the inside and outside covers and sign them and all that. I did all that this morning. So these should go out tomorrow, hopefully. Okay, the power of screen time, the one with the yellow leaves. This is about exploring nature. How many people do not even know the kind of birds in their yard or the weeds that grow in their yard or the flowers in their garden? This talks about getting more exploring and investigating more of the nature around you. What are your values? See, there's little questions here. Again, if you don't feel comfortable messing up their new book, at least do it in another book. These are the kind of things that are awesome in a traveler's because they're little question and answer things that you can peruse and ponder. In one of the little booklets at the travelers booklets I got was called Meditate. These are the kind of questions you can meditate on, think about, and ponder. Okay, here's a whole section on recipes with different herbs. Here's the case for hand lettering, which this is another thing I want to do this year. Hand lettering, brush lettering. Now I'm going to distinguish it from calligraphy, like nib pens, calligraphy pens, dip pens with calligraphy nibs. That to me is a separate thing, and it really is a separate thing. As far as hand drawing letters or brush lettering. So brush lettering, you're using a brush and you're painting your letters. Hand lettering like this can also be hand drawing your letters, as opposed to calligraphy with a calligraphy pen and a nib. Okay? You'll be framing. Oh, no, you're supposed to use it, Picola. Use it for the year, and then if you want to frame the cover. But use it. Use it. Then you have it all the time. So when you're smiling, talking about, and I'm going to try to get through this a little quicker. Look around you. Here's little check boxes. And I said this yesterday. You don't have to necessarily carry this heavy book around and check off the boxes here. Make you a list in one of your traveler's inserts, even if you just carry one insert around with you. If you carry one insert around with you and have lists in it of things to look for, take a nature walk and have a list of things you want to find, like I spy, I spy a willow tree, I spy an anthill. Those are, it's easy to find in Georgia. Anyway, and then this one is making your own timeline of your life, and so it has this big long timeline and some little illustrations here of things that you could cut out if you wanted to include on that, and long articles and long more thoughtful articles than I'm just giving you off the top of the just the titles here. How about you sit quietly in a chair, and it has some little things to think about, meditate about, time to create. Here's some soup recipes. A lot of this one's on snail mail, a whole bunch of different postcards that are perforated that you can tear out. It looks like it's wanting to. I'm flipping fast, and it looks like it's kind of percolating. It's pixelating a little bit when I'm going fast. So I don't know. There was some Ustream issues last night at Jean's stream. So lists clear the mind. And again, writing things down, making lists, mind mapping, just note taking, journaling. And I'm not just talking about art journaling. I'm talking about actual journaling. Things that make me happy, things that worry me. So you have all these different places. Again, if you don't feel comfortable writing in your book, just go in your travelers and write habits I want to break, things I want to let go of, like that. If y'all have any questions, put them in caps. How to be happy with yourself. And we talked about that yesterday too. The things that you tell your friends, your fibs, your friends in the box, and your, or your family, and you're encouraging them, you should do that to yourself. Here's a little thing about cutting and pasting, making your own collage here. They give you a cardstock fold out, and then they give you a bunch of things that you can collage. Cut out. Again, if you don't want to cut these out, take the idea, take the inspiration, get you out a magazine and start cutting out of a magazine and make your own collage. Little squares here. Here's words to collage. And they have little posters and things like that throughout. Yes, you need this book, Alina. Everybody could use this book. Why Life Looks Better with a Beginner's Mind. And again, I did cover all these topics a little more extensively in the end of yesterday's Streamathon. So the writing cure, about the importance of writing. Here's a little 30-day notebook to questions and things to journal for 30 days in here. And sorry guys, I'm seeing it kind of flicker. Is the stream a little, when I go fast, is it kind of like have a line through it or something? It's doing that for me. Maybe it's just mine. But we're gonna soldier on. So wise words, a bunch of different quotes, where they came from, what people think about them. Little like mini poster things. List, fill in list. I want more of this in my life. People I want to spend more time with. Again, more lists that you don't have to write in here. But you could transfer those questions, those lists, into whatever kind of planner, notebook, binder, travelers, whatever kind of thing you're using to collect your ideas, your thoughts, and your journaling. No flickering? Okay, because I'm seeing it when I turn the pages kind of fast, I'm seeing like a line break. Okay, well good, I'm glad that y'all are not then. It's a slight flicker? Okay. Plans, wishes, and dreams. Mindfulness and pictures. You are seeing the lines? Okay, well I can't do anything about it, but maybe I can just go a little slower. That's all I can really do about it, you know. Allow life to be just as it is, you know, just all kinds of quotes. What are your thoughts about happiness? Time to let go. A little jogging, walking, running chart. The art of vulnerability. This time you'll succeed. That was on the running thing. Let me do a little more flip here. Mindfulness and love. Let's stick together. A whole bunch of little stickers. And like I was telling y'all yesterday, you know, make these, you know, associate your little stickers, color them, and make them maybe some of your fibs, your friends in the box. You know, and if you want to, you know, something you might want to do for somebody, or pray for somebody, or, you know, send somebody, or get in a conversation with somebody, you could put one of these in your notebook, whatever that is, your journals, planners, travelers, and write, even just write an imaginary, well, not an imaginary, write a real letter, but write a little letter or note to that person, and think about it, you know, especially as somebody you know that's hurting or ill or something like that, or someone you want to encourage, someone that's starting a new job, someone that's starting a new adventure or something, and maybe you want to see what you can do to help them. Use these little stickers as representations of those. Terry's too tired to see the line. I know, Terry, I don't think you've slept either, have you? Janet hasn't. And so anyway, let's see here. I can't really flick it because there's little inserts in here, so I can't really do too much flipping. Happy with nothing new. Vacation discoveries. The beauty of dreaming. And she talks about here, and I haven't read all these articles, obviously. I just got the book, you know, Friday, Saturday, whatever day the 30th was. Anyway, but it talks about the beauty of dreaming, even like we talked yesterday, even if you know that you really probably can't accomplish that particular dream, but writing about it might make you think about it, write stories about it, draw about it, paint pictures about it. So just writing down your dreams, whether you think that they will, oh, you got 3 hours of sleep, so you're good? Okay, Terry. Whether you think you may or may not ever accomplish that dream, if you write it down, you are doing something with that dream. You are illustrating it, you are writing about it, and who knows that by the sheer fact of writing about it, you may find steps that you had not thought of before to accomplish those dreams. It's so important to write things down, because it won't happen if you don't. Oh, hey, Suze. You couldn't hang. You had to go to bed. And then here's some things about my dreams. Angry, anxious, jealous, be mindful can help. And so they have some things about that. Mastering the art of quitting. And again, we talked about this doesn't just mean like quitting eating sugar, quitting smoking, quitting bad habits. It also can mean quitting projects that are not working for you. Like I said yesterday, I had to quit. I had to just admit I did not like doing three-dimensional type art boxes or art projects. I just did not enjoy three-dimensional type projects. I did not enjoy beading and jewelry making. And again, I'm not dissing on those things. I'm just saying for me, I had to come to the realization I did not enjoy those things. So you have to quit. You just got to admit, you got to quit. Yeah, right, Eileen. Eileen says she's quitting buying. Time to be kind. What do you give yourself? A letter to yourself. And then here's a little packet of poetry pictures, little like little sticker picture things to use to make poetry from. And again, they're all stuck on there with these big glue dots. Together is better. Try a little tenderness on yourself and others. Exercise in self-kindness. How to console someone. The index. And then they have this last little packet, a little glassine envelope of little like calling card type cards. All kinds of little cards. Probably about 10 of them in there. So there's a whole bunch of those in the little envelope. So that is The Flow, a book that takes its time, an unhurried adventure in creative mindfulness. Okay, and this was put out by Workman out of New York. So it's not like printed in, Netherlands and imported. Okay, next, let's move on. Talking about let's see, where do I want to go next? Okay, let's go ahead and go to this one next. And I'm reading them all. I got my big paper clips for reading. But anyway, and I've got a couple other books that are not new. They're in the other room, so I'm not showing those. So I'm reading, I think, 3 other books that I'm not showing because they're not new. They're not part of this book haul. So this one is called Big Magic. And I'd never heard of this book. And then when I went to I bought it off of Amazon, but then I saw it in Barnes and Noble. A big stack. I was like, oh, this is like must be a thing. And I had not seen it. But I bought it off of Amazon, and it's by the woman that wrote Eat, Pray, Love, Elizabeth Gilbert, and it's called Big Magic. Creative Living Beyond Fear. And sorry, guys, for that line. Maybe if I should just not, move too quickly here. And it's talking about creative living beyond fear. So far, I've kind of just got a little bit through her introduction where apparently she was a very fearful child. She was afraid of everything. She was afraid of the water, the beach. She was afraid of snow. She was afraid of the telephone. And as she describes it, her mom was having none of that. That's how she says it. My mom was having none of that. So anytime she showed some kind of fear of something, her mom would make her do it. Like when she was afraid of afraid of the phone, her mom made her answer the phone all the time. When she was afraid of snow, her mom made her go out and shovel snow. You like these? Yeah, these big paper clips. They come in a pack. I got them at Hobby Lobby. I think there was like 6 white and 6 black in here. I think, or maybe 5. So, because I've taken 3 of the blacks and I think 2 of the whites out of here. Yeah. So, and hello, Butane. You have all her books. You love her. Do you have this one, Paula? I had never heard of this. And it's, I'm not really big afraid of because y'all know, I'll do a stream here. If we mess it up, it's like, oh, well. But what I really thought that the main thing I wanted to get this book for was, it's always an encouragement when you read about other people overcoming things, right? And she's a famous author, Eat, Pray, Love. But the other thing was, is I thought I'm going to get some more tips for the fibs to help them not be afraid to create. Because so many people now, most of us that have been here in the group for a long time, 6, 7, Paula, going on 8 years, you learn to get over the fear of creating. That doesn't mean you get over the fear of everything, obviously. Okay, thanks, Colleen. Thank you. Everybody has things they have to deal with, and things that they don't. They don't. I don't like to fly. Since 9/11, I don't like to fly. I will do it if I have to, but I don't like it. So, so we all have things that we don't, but I really wanted to help people and continue to encourage people to get over their fear of being, trying creative things. You think, oh, I wanna paint, but I can't draw. I don't know anything about color. I don't have the supplies. It's usually about a lot of excuses, and those excuses are more likely than not based in fear. And so I thought this might really give me some, because I'm not a psychologist, a counselor, none of that, But I thought maybe we can, find some good tips. And if y'all want to buy this book, or if I read this and hear of some, annotate some good tips in here, I'll pass them along. So anyway, Creative Living Beyond Fear. Let me see her topics here. Let me get to her content page. And I just started. I've only read like a chapter or so. The intro. So she has part 1 is on courage, part 2 is on enchantment, part 3, and I'm sure there's chapters under these sections. Part 2 is enchantment, part 3 is permission, part 4 is persistence. Part 5 is trust, and part 6 is divinity. So then, here's the first section, courage. And so this apparently is a big book in Barnes & Noble, and I'd never heard of it, but I found it on Amazon. So it's Elizabeth Gilbert. I will give you the ISBN for this one. Well, if I can see it. 978-159-463-4727. So yeah, if y'all have any questions or anything, let me do a test. Let's make sure we're not losing chat here. Okay. So yeah, so there's that. Next is, I did break down and buy a color book. Last week, somebody if it was Melody. Melody asked me, did you buy any color books? And I said, no. Well, that was before I'd gone to Barnes & Noble and bought these other 4 books. But I only bought 1 color book at Barnes & Noble. I got this at Barnes & Noble. Now, they do not have stacks and stacks of color books out anymore in the bookstores. At my Books A Million, they're over next to the art section. They have, hang on, let me take a sip of coffee, guys. They have the color books at Barnes Books A Million. Sorry, guys, my coffee's gone cold. This cup does not retain the heat. It's like one of these crockery kind of cups, and when I put this on my hot plate, my hot cup holder, it doesn't heat this crockery. So my coffee's cold and my voice is going. So Books A Million has their color books, a shelved section next to the art section and over in the kids activity section. If you really want to find some of the better color, well, a lot of the color books like the, what's her name? The one that kind of started it all her books now are over in the kids section. Same thing for Barnes & Noble. Barnes & Noble has a lot of their color books in the kids activity section and over in the activity section, like where the Sudoku, the crossword puzzles, and then they have a section all in there for color books. They're over in the activity section. So if you're looking in your bookstore and you don't know where the color books are, look in the activity section where the puzzles and those kind of things are, and in the kids activity section. because that seems to be where they're moving them, you know. So this one is called The Search for the Light Bulb Burglar, a steampunk coloring book mystery. Yeah, Johanna Basford. Thank you, Zelly. Zelly. Oh, I'm sorry. I know I mess it up every time. What you hold in your hands is a story not to be believed, and amazing to color. In a distant time and place where shadows and darkness create an everlasting night, the light bulb explorers. I just love that because, you know, my Society Idea Collector, hang on. My Society of Idea Collector hand-carved stamp is a light bulb. Oh, and speaking of, what did I do with it? Oh, was it Picola? Yeah, Picola. Look, I forgot to show this last week. I've been, you know, busy. But this is Picola's hand-carved stamp. Isn't that, look, week 12 checked off. Week 12 was carving your own identity. Carving your own idea signature. Look at Picola. She printed it out for me and sent it. And again, if y'all would just, even if you just hashtag SOIC, Society of Idea Collectors, and post your hand-carved stamp so we can all see it, isn't that awesome? Yeah, so Picola carved this one. And I got a couple other things I have sitting over here. This was Janet's ATC. And then I also have this from Lady Jan, Lady True North. And I'm not going to read it right now, but I think I'll read it next stream. She has a letter here. This is from Lady, y'all know, if y'all know Jan, Jaen, Lady True North. Anyway, so maybe we'll get to that next week. But I have them sitting here to show you, and then I just didn't even practically see them. So, yeah. Okay, let's go back to this. Rabbit Trail. Color your way through an enchanting steampunk world, complete with goggles, gears, airships, and Victorian notions, and join the hero's fantastical journey to save the day. Experience an adventure unlike any other as you become immersed in their captivating story that expands across the pages, filled with action and plenty of steam-powered mechanics to take your mind off stress of modern life. Use colored pencils, pens, markers, and even watercolors. This paper is thick. It says, on thick, high-quality art paper. The lay flat binding stays open so you can color with ease. Tear out the finished designs from the perforated pages and display your personalized artwork to relive your coloring journey. And then David Habin, it's Habbenink. David Habben is the artist, illustrator, student, and instructor. His work can be found in children's books and magazines, advertising campaigns, fine art galleries, on snowboards, and in an ever-increasing pile of sketchbooks. He lives in Salt Lake City, Utah. And again, I can give you the ISBN, but I don't think you'll have problem finding it. I did find this at Barnes & Noble. You went out on the lanai and used my heat stencil tool to melt the rubber. Awesome! You need to stream that, Picola. Just saying. Yeah, lay flat binding. So the pages are very thick. They are, I wish I had one of Janet's little, she has one of those calipers that measure the thickness of paper. But anyway, and it's a nice velvety type of paper. If it's any kind of watercolor paper, it'd be called hot press. It's smooth, and it's probably 90 weight to 110, something like that. It's heavy. You can hear that and see those lines. Okay, so this came out this year. Excuse moi. It came out last year in 2017. And so you see it does lie flat. It's stitched. It's a stitched binding, so it's going to lie flat. You can see it lies flat. Okay? Now, let me tell you about this book. Okay, well, let me read the introduction. What you hold in your hands is a story not to be believed, at least not yet. This story is not complete. It needs your unique vision to bring it to life. On a cold night long ago, a wealthy man stands alone in his home admiring his growing collection of the latest invention, the crystal clear capsules of handcrafted electric light, or better known as the light bulb. With great pride he surveys the room, filled with small orbs that can cast away all the darkness, bringing light into the shadows and safety to the streets, or so he thinks. Far away in the city, a band of 3 brave souls have joined forces to protect and care for these spheres of iridescent light. They toil away each day in the service of the light, bound by their oath to never let the shadows and those who dwell within them to bring their fear into their hearts. Tonight they will be called into action. Tonight there's someone on the roof. Now, but wait. There's no more words. There's no more words in the book, as far as I saw. All the rest are pictures. There are no more text. So all the rest of the book, and it does lie flat. You got to kind of, crease it down. They are perforated, so if you do ever want to tear them out, you can. But if you complete a whole book, you're probably not want to take them apart. You're not going to tear it out. So the whole book is all illustrations. See, look. Isn't that cool, guys? And the paper's thick. The lines are heavy weighted, so you and I'm planning on watercoloring this. I will watercolor this. I know. I just gotta share. I'm not saying you have to buy it. I'm just sharing. I'm just sharing it. The rest of the book is a who, what, where, when, why, and how. Exactly, Pacola. And I'm trying to, take my time with the, bending of the spine here. Although there really is a way to break in a spine, and I'm not doing it correctly. You're supposed to start in the middle of the book and open it, and then page by page, front and back. You're supposed to break a spine gently, But anyway. So, isn't that cool, though? I won't go through the whole book. Gone through about less than half of it. But you can see how it all just lies nice and flat. I'll just flip here through the rest. I'm not sure how many pages. They're not numbered. But there's a lot. I guess I could kind of flip and guesstimate. And then there's about the author in the back here. So I'd say, let me kind of guess here. See how many color pages. 3, 4, 20, 22, 24, 6, 7, 8, 30. Okay, I'm about halfway through, and I'd say there's probably maybe about 50, between 50 and 60 pages. I'm guessing, just by, So, yeah, that's called The Search for the Light Bulb Burglar. Hey, CB. So, if y'all like to do, especially if you want to watercolor or do any heavy, water mediums, neocolors or whatever, this is the perfect paper for that. Perfect. Y'all know me. I will watercolor even on Bennett Klein's Create Space paper. It doesn't, I don't care if it buckles some or not. This should not buckle at all. Okay, so there's that. Okay, next, let's move on here. Okay, let me show you this. I should put it back in here. if y'all remember a few months, maybe closer to a year ago, I forgot when Paula got hers, but the Inspire Color Book Bible, when Paula got that one and I got it right after her, well, I ended up giving that one away to Denise with some color, some pages. Well, there was quite a few things colored in it. But anyway, I gave that to Denise. So I got another one. I got a newer version. So this one is called the Inspire Praise. And I got to tell you why I bought it. I mean, yeah, I know it's kind of a, what? You bought a Bible for that? But I kind of did. I want to show y'all. I've already got pages marked that I want to color. But I want to show you guys. This is why I bought it. I mean, I wanted a new coloring Bible because I'd given Denise my other one. But look, let me take the, and it's also got the, elastic band. But this is why I bought this one. Look at that. Isn't that stunning? Now they have another one, kind of like the one Paula and I had, that has purple flowers all over it, but it doesn't have this. And so this is why I bought this particular one. It's got kind of that oilcloth feel to it. So you kind of grip it. Isn't it beautiful? So yeah, I've started coloring a couple things in it. There are tons. Now there's something else special about this one. There's something else special about this one. Not only does it have, I kept the cover here to show you guys. It has how many? Over 500? Nearly 500 all new designs, line art to color. But it has 32, what's the word I want to, the translucent paper. Oh, not parchment, the glassine. You know what it has like 32 of, let me find one here. These. I am Jeannie. Hang on. It has. Wait. I picked up part of the book. Hang on. It has 32 of these vellum. Thank you, Patty. Thank you. Vellum. It has 32 vellum sheets. Look how pretty. Now this one's not as pretty as some, but let me find another one. They're all interspersed throughout the book. Look. There's 32 vellum, and they're thin vellum. Very thin vellum. See? So they're all throughout, plus all the line art, and then it's also got the journaling lines on the ones here, like this, that don't have any art on them. They have journaling lines. The other thing I liked about this one is the one I gave Denise, the Inspire one that Paul and I had, the first Inspire one has pink, flat pink. I can't show it to you because I gave it to Denise. The paper was cream color. A lot of people like the cream color. This has like, it's not pure white. It's just like a off-white. But it's not that cream color. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? Some of the other things I bought have the cream color. This one's more white, and I like that better for coloring because the color shows up to me better on white paper than the cream color paper. So, and if y'all have never seen anybody do art Bible journaling, this one is for, here's one of the ones I want to do. And there's like every other page has got one or two. Some have double, some have one on both sides. Some just have one. A lot of the girls that do Bible journaling, they do full-on painted pages, painty art. But you have a couple of inches of margin to do whatever. And there's just tons and tons. But again, all the vellum pages, there's 32 of these. Yeah, cream versus off-white. Yeah, it makes a difference in the coloring. So I just really love this. Oh, here's another pretty one. Look at that. See the vellum? So anyway, but again, this got me right here. I loved this. And so the first couple pages are heavier cardstock, and then it's all thin. I did find, there was one that I did find, of course, pencil. You always want to put something between, because it is thin paper, right? It's Bible paper. If you're using pencil, if you bear down, it's going to dent, right? It's going to dent really badly. Always make sure you have a piece of cardstock between it, so that if you're just denting the back of one, you're not denting the next 2 or 3 pages. You know what I mean? Know what I mean, Vern? Yeah, it is pretty, Paula. I love the other one too, but so did Denise, so I gave it to her. But I found that my super tip Crayola markers, as long as you don't go too heavy, it might ghost a little, but it doesn't go through. These don't go through. Let me see. Let me just do a little bit on this content here. Let me see what's a pretty color. Let's go with a purple, because it'll show. Let's go with a pretty purple, just so you can see what I'm talking about. And again, you should put something behind it. I'm going to just go over the word contents here, just so y'all can see. It might ghost, but it doesn't go through with these Crayola super tips. And I'm sure that's true with the Crayola, any of your water-based Crayolas. These are just the super tips. And I am having to be careful to get right on the point of it, because, you know, it's a fat marker. But if you get right on the point, you can write thin. But I follow quite a few girls that they do full-on art in their Bibles. I haven't done that. I mean, I've done a little because of them. They inspired me, but not much. Full-on, you know, pages. And people go, well, I don't like to cover up the text. Well, I can tell you pretty much from everybody that I've seen talk about their journaling Bibles, it's not their reading Bible. It's not the Bible that they read or study from. It's a Bible that they specifically buy to do art in, you know, and meditate on the words and the verses and stuff. It's not their study Bible where they're reading it. So it's not like they're covering up the words and, oh my gosh, I'll never have those words. You know what I mean, Vern? So, okay, so let's test this out. Okay, so I just went over the word contents there. I can't get too much closer. And let me show you the back side. See, it ghosted a little, but it didn't bleed through completely. You know what I'm saying? So you could use pencil, which will not ghost at all. But the thing with pencils is you're denting the paper. So it's kind of like a trade-off. If you're using color pencils, you're going to dent the paper, or you're going to have a little bit of ghosting. I know that there's some people that, you know, when they do their full-on pages, they just clear gesso to prevent it. I'm not sure. Is that who's saying yay after watching you on YouTube for 2 years? You made a live. I don't know who that is. It's all in caps. So anyway, I just thought it was so pretty, and I like the way it felt. You know, I didn't know how it was going to feel when I got this one off of Amazon. So you can get this off of Amazon, and then it has the elastic as well. So I just had to share that with you. This is what it comes wrapped in, this sleeve here. And remember, there's 2 different kinds. This one has the solid purple with this binding edge. And then there's the other Inspire that has purple flowers all over it. But the edge is just like, it's kind of like, it looks like kind of like just that all over it. It's just kind of like a solid purple. So if you want this one, Hi, Deanna from South Dakota. You can change your name. Change your name to Deanna instead of that Caps watching your YouTube. Just, right click on it or go into your settings and change your name to Deanna. Yeah, thank you, because that's very distracting. Okay, so can you do that for me, please? Okay, so there's, I got that. Then I'm going to show the lettering books last. Okay, so for the color book girls, I know that I have the other lady that does, let me see if I can find it real quick, that I did a demo out of this book. This one's Helen Elliston. Remember I did we drew an eye out of this one? This one is Helen Elliston, and we did a demo out of her book with the eye. She has another one out. She has a part 2 out. Okay? So I wanted to see about a different artist and how her coloring effects were. So instead of buying another one by Helen Elliston, I mean, this is awesome, don't get me wrong. We did some stuff out of this one, and again, I'm not flipping, it's leaving some lines there. Yours is light green, Paula, your Inspire Bible? Okay, so you had a solid color one? I had the Inspire one that had the pink flowers on it with kind of that oilcloth type of cover, and it had pink flowers on it, and that's the one I gave to Denise. But I think they had the same kind. I think they had the same innards, Paula. I think the green one and the pink flowered one I think they have the same innards. Maybe not, though. Maybe not. But I love the purple one because it has those vellum in it. I just love that. I love those tip-ins. I'm a sucker for tip-ins. You put some tip-ins in something and I'm all over it, right? Yeah, the eye. I think it's in my big journal here. Hang on, let's see. I think I put it in my big journal here. Now, and let me say this. I tore a bunch of these out and sent them to people at Christmas. I did not hear back from one. I didn't even hear back from Eileen. Eileen, did you get your green flamingo? Did you get your green flamingo I tore out of this book and sent to you for a dartboard? You like tip-ins too, Terry? Yeah. So anyway, y'all, if y'all remember the green flamingo I did in here, and I told Eileen I was going to send it to her, and she said she'd use it for a dartboard. Oh, you have that one too? Okay, Paula. So Paula has two different coloring Bibles, creative Bibles. So anyway, and Julie Topaz has a light green with the butterfly and flowered edges hardcover. I'd love to see what y'all are doing in them if you have. You did get it? Okay. Well, Eileen, I thought for sure that you would use it for your dartboard. Welcome, Deanie from South Dakota. Yeah, okay, you're good now, Deanie. Yeah, and welcome. I'm glad to have you. So anyway, I sent some of the girls. I tore some pages out. I wanted to send some people that have really been very supportive. Sent me tons of stamps or, postage money and stuff like that. I wanted to send them something personal, and some of them I'd sent color book pages to before, so I didn't, and I really didn't have time to do color book pages for everybody. So I tore pages out. It's on your refrigerator, Eileen. So I tore pages out of. Sorry, Dee, a practice drawing face that you tore out for me. Right? Oh, okay, Scoobs. Yeah, Scoobs got one. That's okay. I just wanted to make sure y'all got them. So I tore pages out of this my big art journal or sketchbook, and sent them some. So everything's kind of loose now, and because I've torn it all apart, so I need to get everything back to. I need to get everything back in order. But anyway, the reason I got this out right now is to find that eyeball. I have that eyeball is stuck in here somewhere. See how it's all, look. I deconstructed it. But that's okay. I deconstructed it for a purpose because I wanted to send some. Here it is. Okay, I got it washi taped in here. So here's the eye. that we did out of Helen's book. There is a demo, there's a video on this. Um, I forgot what playlist I put it under. Probably drawings. Probably drawings for 2017. I need to make a new playlist now for drawings for 2018. But anyway, we did a step-by-step. We followed her step-by-step as much as possible. And this one's from Mark Crilly's Realism Challenge book. So anyway, and there's all my Inktobers. And anyway, I'm not going to flip through this again right now. I just wanted to show you that eyeball that we did from Helen's book. And here's Helen. Let's see if I can get right to it here. There it is. So this is the demo that we did step by step. Anyway, you sent the one you sent me back from. Yes, and Jen sent me. I sent her a little coloring postcard for her coloring assistant. I got it back, Jen. Let's see, where did I put it right? I don't know if I can put my hand right on it. It's in my stack of Christmas. Oh, no, what? You know, it's on my door. It's on my door downstairs, my pantry door where I have all my Christmas cards, which, by the way, when I get done with the show today, Hubster and I are taking down all the Christmas decorations. But, yeah, so Jen's coloring assistant colored the little postcard, and she sent it back to me. Yeah, it's on the door downstairs inside your card, Jen. So, yeah, Grace. Yeah. So anyway, Helen Elliston has a second book out. But I wanted just to see somebody else's version of Secrets of Coloring. So I got this one's by Jennifer Zimmerman. Tutorials and Tricks of the Trade from a Professional Illustrator. So this is the one that we're going to flip through now. And I flipped through. I haven't had a chance to really look at these yet because I've been busy streaming and, you know, everything else. Christmas, Boo's birthday. So, you know. Thanks, Terry's putting links in for us. Okay, so the table of contents. Intro to coloring materials, paper types, colored pencils, varieties, terminology, pencil pressure, layers and burnishing, colorless blenders. Chapter 4 is markers and pens. Chapter 5, other necessities. Chapter 6, non-traditional supplies. Chapter 7, time-saving tips, techniques for maximum impact. Chapter 8, coloring simplified, like some color theory, a color wheel. Chapter 9, an illustrator's secret techniques and tutorials for increasing the wow factor. Creating realistic pictures, adding dimension, adding white embellishments, glitter pen. Jen, mixed media embellishment tutorials, and I'm sure, you know, we've probably all dabbled with all of it at some time or another, but I just thought, you know, I'll go ahead, and somebody else told me about, they private messaged me on Facebook and told me about Helen's second book. It might have been Tammy. And I said, no, Tammy, I don't need another one of those books. But then I broke down and bought this one off of Amazon. So, you know, what, you know, you say you're not going to buy anymore, and then you. Anyway, so here's a black, gray, tan, and white paper. So I'm just going to kind of flip through so we can just kind of see different markers, pens, pencils, non-traditional materials. Of course, you all know all of us in our coloring community use watercolor, neocolor, acrylic paint. You know, the kitchen sink, tea. We'll use anything. Chapter 7, these are the time-saving tips and techniques. And then how to see light sources and shadows. Here's practicing, your shadows here. So some color theory, your color wheels. And then she's got little samples for you to color. And then to write the colors you used. And check, write down the pencils and the numbers and everything, Here's some on jewels. So a little bit here on the skin. And again, it's very technique heavy. How to, different, I'm trying to reach out to at the same time. Mixed media embellishments. And, we've put glitter and stickles on ours. You just got to remember, if you keep a glitter or stickles in your color book, it's going to make a texture for the next page. So you got to be aware. It depends on if you have double-sided pages. If you're tearing the pages out, then it doesn't matter. But if you put glitter here, or any kind of textured mixed media, anything, and then you're going to color this side, you're going to color and you're going to pick up that texture, just like you did, like, when I did the grave rubbings, the headstone rubbings, you're going to pick that texture up with pencil. Bye, Melody. Sleep well, hon, and Happy New Year. Let's see. Some different erasing techniques, using an eraser. I think this is pastel. Yeah, she's using pastel. That's one thing I do not use. And maybe pan pastels might be. And again, I haven't bought any pan pastels yet because, I got so many other techniques that we do. I've seen some awesome, beautiful color book pages done with pastel, chalk, pan pastels, and all that. And here she's using an eraser to rub out the clouds, to make a cloud. Just for me, I don't like the dry feeling of chalk, and I don't like the smell of fixatives. So those two things kind of keep me away from chalks and pastels. I do not fixative anything. I don't like the smell. I can smell fixative in my artwork from when I was a teenager. I can still smell the fixative. I do not like fixatives. Maybe it was a fixative back in those olden days. But I don't like the smell of fixative. I gave all my fixatives to Cameron, even though sometimes I might need it for something. I don't know. He needed it for his artwork. But anyway. And I don't like the feel of chalk. So buy some Jane Davenport pastels. But aren't those oil pastels? See, I've done oil pastels. But again, there's so many other mediums I like and work better for me that it's almost like putting a substitute in for something that I love already. But is hers chalk or oil pastels, Eileen? I've not touched hers. I don't know, and I haven't seen her video. I know she has a video on it, but I haven't seen her video, and I've not touched her pastels. Who knows? Eileen, you're just trying to get me to buy something. That is all. You are just trying to, hey, Deb, you're just trying to get me to buy them. That's all, Eileen. But anyway, what I was trying to get at is if you don't mind the feel of chalk and you don't mind fixative, then try some of the chalk techniques, because I've seen awesome color tube girls using chalk. It's just not my, just not me. But you really don't know. Okay, Eileen. So yeah, pan pastels and pastels. Here's a pan pastel demo, and see, she's using those little spongy things that you use with pan pastels. See those little tools, those little spongy tools. Janet has pan pastels. Don't you too, Eileen? I know Janet's got a buku of them. She bought a whole bunch of pan pastels. I would love to see Janet do, well, she's done some stuff before. I don't know if she did it in a color book. Did you pan pastel in a color book, Janet, about a year ago? I don't remember. But anyway, so yeah. And then here's going in for a realistic eye, white gel pen, and then she uses pan pastel again on the hair. I think she's using the pan pastels here as a base, and then she goes over it. Jen, Reading with Pugs, have you done any chalk or pastel? Are you back from Hawaii, Debbie? Debbie went to Hawaii for the holidays. Eileen says she has a few pan pastels and never use them. You need to do a demo for us, Eileen. Use them and take a picture. I know you don't stream or do videos, but we need pictures, because as I Carry Love, Pixie says, if you don't have pictures, it didn't happen. I I've used, Jackie, I've used watercolors and watered down acrylic paint in my Mythomorphias, in my Kirby books. Let me grab that real quick. It can buckle a little. Let me not knock my whole thing over here. Here's all my finished pages here and pages in progress. It can buckle them a little bit, but not so much that it bothers me. If any kind of warping or buckling bothers you, then I tell people don't even try. Unless it's like in that thick steampunk book or something like that where you know it's not going to warp at all. It just doesn't bother me to have a little bit of warp. And I found that most of the time it flattens out anyway. Janet says, I have pan pastels and didn't use them and someone should just shoot me. You don't use them. But you did use them once. And I'm sure you bought them because Eileen told you to. Eileen, you're so bad. Oh my gosh. But anyway, because what you call it just asked me on the let me see. So here's some where I've done some watered down, what I call a watered down acrylic base. So what I do, and one of these, I can't remember which one, I went through the whole thing and did the main creature in watered down acrylic, and then I go back and I pencil over it. So I can feel a little bit of warp in it, like a little bit of buckle, if you will. I can feel a little bit. Yeah, pastels, not pasties, Debbie. And Jen likes the way they sound and feel. So, you know, different people for different, you know, different strokes for different folks, you know. Here's a good example of one where I've got, so here's one where I've washed down with acrylic, watered down acrylic paint, and then here's a good example of what it looks like before and after. So here's some of the tentacles with just the wash, and then here's some tentacles with the pencil on top. Color pencils are awesome on top of acrylic paint, whether it's full strength like the black background or watered down, because you got to water it down if you want to see your lines. If you don't water it down, it's just going to be a solid color, right? So here's where it's just the wash of watered down acrylic paint, and here's where I've done pencil on top. Same thing for this. Here's the eyeball here. So here's with just the wash, and here's with the pencil on top. Yeah, and I just use craft paint. I just use like Americana craft paint. These you can get for between $79 and $1.29, depending on if you get them on sale. I just use Americana craft paint. They don't sponsor me or anything, but I just like the color variety, and I like their opaqueness for most of their colors. So you have to water them down if you want to see through, you know, if you want to see your color lines. So, and I've done, if y'all look back in my color book playlist, I have a couple hundred videos on color books, you know. I've flipped through all of them multiple times. One of my favorites in this one, though, and this one was a little bit thicker paper, is my werewolf. This one was a lot of work right here. This double page spread, and I think it took me 5 episodes, and or 4 episodes, 2 recorded, 2 did not. So there's a couple in between. There's a couple videos for this, but I think there's a couple in between that didn't record. But anyway, so I love my werewolf. He's kind of creepy and gory, but, you know, he's cool. And I've done demos on different things in this book. Here's a dragon that we did. This one's the water dragon, and I plan on doing this one as a fire dragon. Here is my... this is the Asian, I think it's a Chinese dragon. And this is all acrylic paint. So it's acrylic paint like put on top. But there's tons of, and just look at my playlist, guys. If you haven't, most regulars here have seen. Okay, so back to her book. We're again looking through The Secrets of Coloring by Jennifer Zimmerman. This is one of my Amazon purchases with my Amazon Christmas gift card. Here's how to do animal animal eyes, scales, furs, and armor. And y'all know I do pet portraits. I love me some eyes. So here's some different ones. Here's a cat eye. And she, this is one of those things that we'll have to do a demo show on, where we'll take and I will try my best to follow her technique step by step. I think we pretty much on the human eye that we did in out of Helen's book, I tried my very best to follow exactly her steps and tried to imagine if I was a brand new person to doing it. Oh, you finished your werewolf, Zilly? Oh, post them on Instagram. Okay, do I follow you on Instagram? Is that your same name? Do you have the same name as here? As on Instagram? I'd love to see it. And there's a chat lag, so I have to wait for her to answer. Let me just, while I'm waiting, look up that name. And I know I pronounce it wrong. There's a few Zelis. There's a lot of them, as a matter of fact. So I'm not sure which one you are. Which Zeli are you? There's tons of Zelis. Thanks, Terry, for the links. I don't see your last name, though. Wow, there's a lot of them. 20, 30 of them. There's a lot. Why is I didn't know Zeli was. Is Zeli a thing? Is that a? Yeah, it's the same name. I don't see you with that name. I just went through 20 of them. I don't see green. I'm not sure if I follow you, but I don't see that name exactly like the one you got here. So I don't know. I'll wait and see if I know there's a chat lag. Okay, so anyway, we'll try to do a step by step. Eyes are tough. Well, if like I do portraits, commission, faces, and pets. So, I don't know. To me, drawing, it's kind of like you have to just learn to draw what you see, not what you think you see. Yeah, Terry, look too. Yeah, so you must have a different name on Instagram than here. So I'm kind of watching chat. Oh, you're welcome, G. Have a great day. Do some more car art, G. I love your car art. And your journal flips. Your car art journal flips. Here is coloring, the bleeding heart flowers, step by step. Here is shiny yellow gold and rose gold. Here's a mirror, doing something from a mirror. Here's a blue pearl on tone paper. An iridescent metallic pearl. A satin ribbon. So you can see there's just all kinds of cool little demos. They'll help you practice. These kind of books will really, really help you practice the techniques. Especially if you don't know, when I do skin tones, you can have an undertone of a different color of pink, a blue, a green, a yellow, other colors to make your skin colors. And those kind of things, if you're not shown how to do them, you have to learn them. Not sure why not showing. I was planning on tagging you anyway. Your video inspired me to. Are you are talking about Instagram, not Twitter, Zelly? Yeah, maybe. Hey, Barry. And then here's do your DIY color wheel. And then she has some pages in here for you to practice what she's shown inside the book. So if you don't want to draw it like the eye that I drew from Helen's book, I just hand drew it. But if you don't think you can draw the eye, then you could just, they want you to make a copy of it or use their copy to practice. And then here's some, and this is not tone tan paper. It's just brown colored paper. There's a difference between this kind of paper that people print See how it's kind of shiny? There's a difference between this kind of paper. Let me grab one of mine. And using actual tone tan paper. Let me get out one of my drawings here. There's a difference between this kind of paper that they print brown. They print this on just regular paper, and it's brown. Oh, with one L. Okay, is that what it is? Zelly with one L? Hey, Aaron. Hang on, let me look and see if I can find it now. Okay. Is that what it is? I want to make sure I have the right person. Is it Zelly with one L? Is that you? I'm looking for color book pages. I'm not seeing any color book pages. I don't know if that's you. Okay, yeah, tag me and I'll find you. Because I don't see any drawing, I don't see any art there. So maybe it's a different one. So anyway, what I wanted to say though is this is different than your tone tan paper that you get from Strathmore. This is on the Strathmore tone tan paper, and it's completely different than this. Okay? It's completely different. So here's a couple of my, and I'm not going to flip through all these right now either, because I've done plenty of flip throughs of my sketchbooks and my drawings. Okay, so there is that book. I got piles here. Piles. Let's go back here. So she puts and I have not tested this paper. I've not tried to color pencil on these brown, printed brown papers, if you know what I mean. Then here's some color organizer. If you want to keep track of, and I should have done this from the get-go, but I didn't. When I started doing color booking pages, I might have done a couple. I might have started, but I've done so many starts, half done pages for demos and for here, and so I should have probably kept up better with it. But here is, and you can make your own. You don't have to have a chart. Just make your own. The book and page, the kind of brand of pencil, the page number or a description. A lot of color books don't have page numbers. And then the color and the brand of pencil and the pencil number. So if you keep track of that, or at the very minimum, you should probably do is put a Post-it note in your color books with the pencil, especially if you're using different kinds of pencils. Now I'm using my polychromos, and dang, Melody left already. I wanted to show her I got my pencil case for the polys. Anyway, so I'm going to show you. I'll show you guys that. It wasn't a book part. It wasn't a part of a book haul, but I'll show her again. Show it again when she's here. So I'm used to using just Prismacolors all the time. Then I started using Lumis and Holbees and polys. So for a while I had my polys just in the silverware tray, right? Because if I keep my pencils in the boxes, like the Holbees, I put them in a pencil case. If I keep them in the boxes, they come in with the trays that I have to take the trays out and set the trays to the side and work out of 3 trays. It's too much trouble for me. So what I did with my polys, I took them all out, put them in silverware trays, kind of like I do my, kind of like these are my use everyday colors of my Prisma. So I had all my polys in a silverware tray. Well, I finally got the case. I got the case for my, I got it with my Amazon gift card. Thank you, Denise. Okay, that is her. Okay, I didn't see any art. Okay, I'll look after the show. So I got one of these kind that have all the different zippers. There's four zippers. Yeah, 4 zippers. And of course, I'm not going to close it. I'm not going anywhere with it. But you can close up the 4 different compartments. And so I put my polys. Now let me start before anybody gets any OCD on me. I did not keep them I didn't put them all back in exact order. They're not in, I put like yellows are all kind of together, but they're not in exact rainbow color. Now that may bother some of you. So just showing you. So you can see there's some yellows, light yellows, dark yellows. Here's a couple over here. Here's a couple over here. I just have them all generally at my fingertips, right? So here's my yellows, oranges, and reds. Then here's my pinks, purples, and blues. And again, they're not in exact order like they come in the box, because I took them all out of the box and started using them. Plus, I have a couple extras that I'd already had. So some of these shorter ones are duplicates. So there's duplicates. Yes, I rearranged my, and then here's, look. So I didn't have enough room for the blues here, so there's a few blues here. And then it goes right into the dark greens, grays. I know it's freaking people out. And then here's a few more grays, and then the browns. Yeah. So these are all my polys in here. I know, it freaks people out. So yeah, so my polys are in this. I bought this off of Amazon. It's called BL. I forget. It didn't come with the. I think it came wrapped, and if it had something, I threw that wrapper away. But it has the strap on it, and it has four zipper compartments. Which again, I'm not going anywhere with them, so I don't zip these up. Yeah, see, I had to take mine out of the tin, because if they're in the tin, like I was saying earlier, Eileen, whatever pencils, if they're in the tin and I have to take out 3 trays, and have the trays laid out, they're not going to get used. Not like they should. BTSKY. Thanks, Aaron. Yeah, BTSKY. BT Sky, or however. Yeah. And so that's what this one is. And I just, put the polys in it and got them out of the silverware tray. I will say this. The only thing I do keep in the tin, I keep my Neo colors in the tin. The reason I keep my Neo colors in the tin is because they can break. So I'll just take this and set it like that when I want to use my Neo colors. So my Neo colors do stay in the tin. Everything else is not in the tin. But because they're fragile, these are the fragile pets. So we keep them in their house. But that's the only thing. Everything else in my ink tints, everything else are in cases. Okay, so now let's move on. So we looked at this one, The Secrets of Coloring by Jennifer Zimmerman. Okay. Piles of books. Okay. The next thing I want to show you, I got three more books to show you. And I do want to remember to show Reading with Pugs is on my mind. Oh, I do want to show Melody, the pencil case that I got for the polys. Aaron said, my Neos are in the same blue case you have the polys in. See, I don't like my Neos in a case, because when you're pulling them in and out, you're writing, it's marking it. You're marking it. I couldn't have those in a case. So, but as long as they're safe, you have to pet those fragile babies. Jean made little houses for hers. Okay, so I have 3 more books to show. I'll go ahead and show the 2 brush lettering, hand lettering ones first. Get my thing out of here. So these are the 2 books. Now, y'all know I have done, if you go and look in my playlist, under books, it should be under like calligraphy books. I've shown you probably 100 different calligraphy books. And a few hand lettering. And I do have let me see, let me grab it over here. This one. I do have Joanne Sharp's The Art of Whimsical Lettering. And I've had this for, I don't know, a year. Janet, how long have we had this book? Anyway, and I've shown this before too. And I just have seen so many things lately with the brush lettering. So I've got me some Tombos, I've got me some watercolor brushes, and I mean not water brushes, but water uh, markers that are watercolor, and I want to try to do brush lettering this year. So I'm going to be doing some demos. I don't want to call it a class or teaching. I'll be doing it right along with you. I'm going to do all the strokes line by line, line by line, and you got to do hundreds of them. At least that's what I did to learn calligraphy, with the nib pen, with a calligraphy pen and a dip pen and a steel nib pen. Just, you got to do hundreds and pages and pages and pages. I sent all those to Janet. Well, not all of them, but I sent her some. I had a big notebook full of calligraphy stuff that I did not, I was just in a binder, never used it. So kind of as a, well, no, I will say it was kind of as a joke, but Eileen said, send all those calligraphy pages that you don't want to Janet. So I sent Janet about this many calligraphy things. Hey, Jamie, thank you. Thanks for stopping in. You have Eileen says she has a Joanne one, and she will be here in February to teach a class. Oh my gosh, Eileen! And I'm sure you're going to take it. Eileen has the awesomest classes down in Florida. And she said Joanne Sharp's going to be in her area in February to teach class. Are you taking her classes, Eileen? Oh my gosh, Eileen, please do, and help me and Janet here, because we want to do more brush lettering. Hand-drawn lettering, you can that's literally what it says. You hand draw and paint and color and doodle. This is hand-drawn. This is brush lettering with brushes. And then there's calligraphy, which is with the nib pens. Okay? So let me go ahead and show the brush lettering one first, because this is the one that I really want. You're not taking it? Eileen, tisk tisk. She does online workshops too, Terry. Okay, I think I'm going to try to teach myself with books. That's why I've always learned everything. Well, I've moved so much in my life, and if I ever wanted to learn anything, especially, before the internet, you had to learn it yourself. You had to teach yourself through books, and that's pretty much how I've always taught. I'm an easy student when it comes to reading from a book. I learn easily from a book. Some people need videos, or learn better, I should say. Not need, but learn better. Through videos, some is audio. There's just different learning styles. I can learn from a book. I love getting it, so jokes on Eileen. Ah, thanks, Janet. Janet did like getting it. I sent it to Janet for her birthday. A big stack of my old, I'm talking old calligraphy stuff. And let's be truthful, Janet has all that same stuff herself, because she's done calligraphy too since I was going to say since the dinosaurs, but we're not quite that old, are we, Janet? Okay, so brush lettering, the ultimate guide. I got this one off of Amazon. I got this one at Barnes & Noble. Okay, so this one was at Amazon, and it is by Peggy. Let me see here. Peggy Dean. This one's by Peggy Dean. I'll give you an ISBN. Oh, let me get my magnifying glass. 9780998558509. And it was original price is $19.95, but if you're on Amazon, it's cheaper. So anyway, the ultimate brush lettering guide, Peggy Dean. And if you all you have to do is go hashtag brush lettering on Instagram, and you'll see why we want to do this. It's stunning. It's beautiful. It's watercolory looking, and just I'm so excited to do more. It's just it's learning a new skill, so it takes time to do the practicing. It does take time to do the practicing. She talks about look, she did a little mind map there. If you have any questions or anything, put them in caps. So if you're new here, I try to keep up with chat, but if you want to talk to me directly, make sure you put it in caps, so I know you're talking to me. Look. So here's where to start. Learn this, network, collaborate, and then practice, 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 practice. The different kinds of brush pens. So like here's the water brush, and I've seen people, and I don't really want to do a demo now because I haven't practiced, but they've taken their water brush and they've written the letters, and when the light hits it, you can see it from the side, so that, or you could probably just pencil it in too, but I guess when you get more proficient at it, you can just write it with water and then dip your watercolor into the letters that you've done with just water and watch it smear. Do you know what I mean? Now, I'm not going to do a letter, but I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let me get a water brush here. Like, let's just do one nice stroke here. Okay? And then, I don't have any watercolors handy. Let me get a watercolor something. I didn't prepare for this. Okay, here. I got something here on the tray. I think there's something here that'll reactivate. I don't know. Some of this is probably, there we go. There's some green. And then you take and you just get it wet. See? And you do your letters. I got way too much water there. And you can add multiple colors. I don't think I have I think that red is not, I'm not sure what that red is. It might have been ink. But anyway, let's see. There we go. So, in doing your letters with multiple colors of watercolor, so yeah, let me clean my brush. And I do have that kind of thick, a lot of water on there. So it's more like painting than calligraphy lettering. See, I've done calligraphy lettering for years. This is more like painting and drawing and writing, and so I'm anxious to play with it. Bye, May. Okay, the toolbox. She talks about the different pens, mono pens, paper, and also, guys, now, seeing this Rhodia, or I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, Rhodia, Rhodia. This brand of paper, Michaels is now selling it in that section with all the, it's called what was it called again? Let me look again. Where all the journals, the travelers, they have a whole new section at Michaels. Let me look at my pictures real quick. They have a whole new section called The Right Place. Well, you can't see it, but, and in that section, they have all kinds of new papers for writing. So they have these books. They have the Rhodia. They have all different kinds of watercolor, all different kinds of journals now for you to put. Thanks, Kimberly. You liking this? Terry's going, you're evil, Eileen. She's probably over there enabling. The Right Place, yeah. So Michaels has a whole new section with travelers, journals, and y'all know, if y'all missed it earlier, I set me up two full on. Now these are from the Jane Davenport section. These are not in the Right Stuff section, but all my inserts here are from over there in the Right Stuff. I got new inserts. Some of them I transferred over from my old inserts, and I got a couple that are from Hobby Lobby, but for the most part, these are all new for 2018. And these are my Jane Davenport covers. But they have all kinds of new covers and travelers and the passport size, I think, the smaller ones, and those the Rhodia, and all different kinds. All different kinds of pads and lined paper for lettering, for hand lettering. They have the pens. They're selling, I did buy one set of the Tombow, but they're selling the Tombows individually. I just bought one when they were on sale. I bought a set of the Tombos. I throw away all the packaging, guys, because I don't put anything back in the package. I open it and I start using it right away. But I bought this pack with a 50% off coupon. Michaels has their own brands, and so there's just, all different versions. Okay, so lettering versus calligraphy versus typography. So they break down the difference between that. Then here's line paper, and I know you probably can't see it because let me close my blinds. The sun's not out, but it's gotten bright since I started in the dark this morning. And so they give you paper, grid paper, dot paper, line paper to practice with. But you can buy this paper now. Gridded, dotted, lined, all different kinds. So here's the old calligraphy with the slant lines in it to practice. And you can order online. Michaels has an online store. They have an online store too. But you can also get this stuff at Hobby Lobby, Joann's. Some of it you can get at Walmart. So, guidelines, lettering formation. They have, things on the descenders and the ascenders and, all the lettering forms. And so it's a workbook. Faux calligraphy. So you're writing it, you're drawing it rather than using a calligraphy pen. You're actually drawing your letters. So, following the prompts to practice, adding weight. I'm still learning. Michelangelo, age 87. We all need to hang this up. Let's hang this up in our studios right there. Brush lettering 101, basic strokes. And see, this is the stuff you got to practice. You got to take your pen and make pages and pages and pages. If you really want to get good at it, let's put it that way. If you want to, master anything, you're going to have to spend hours practicing. That's why you've got to kind of pick and choose what you're going to like to do. I had to give up three-dimensional art. I gave up beading, clay making, miniatures, and our Jennifer Crackalack, she's a miniature girl now. She's the only person I know now personally that does miniatures. I used to do miniatures back in the early 80s, probably late 70s, early 80s, through the 80s, I think. I built a house, built all the furniture. You had to order kits through the mail. This was all before the internet, You bought little magazines and they taught you how to make things. Anyway, I said all that to say, it depends on what you want to focus on, because there's only so many hours in the day. You got to pick and choose. I know it's hard, isn't it, Debbie? First attempt in lettering, fail. Here's tips what happens. And then they have all the different alphabet styles. This is what really I thought this was really good in this book, is they give you, look at all the A's. Look at all the different styles of A's. B's. See, so they give you multiple styles. And this is what I like about a lot of my calligraphy books, as opposed to brush lettering or hand lettering. My calligraphy books have multiple, let me see if I can grab one real quick, one of my favorites. I have 2 shelves of calligraphy, so hang on. It's my favorite calligraphy, and I probably don't have it put in the right place because I pull it out all the time. It's red. I know what it looks like. Not seeing it. Okay. Well, anyway, I was going to show you one of my favorite calligraphy books and how it's got the multiple different lettering to it. Here's another one of my newer ones. Well, dang it. I know it's here somewhere because I use it all the time. This is probably the last newest calligraphy book I bought, and it's world calligraphy. And it's all the different calligraphy, and this is, true calligraphy, not brush lettering and drawing your letters. This is nibbing it, if you will. And it's got languages from all around the world and how to do calligraphy from different languages. And just going to kind of flip through this just so you can see. But here's a good example of, a different kind of alphabet samples. And I love that in my calligraphy books, when there's all kinds of different, and I taught myself how to do the Hebrew alphabet in calligraphy. And I even I carved the Hebrew alphabet in rubber stamps. But anyway, so you can kind of see. That one's called Learn World Calligraphy, Margaret Shepherd. Margaret Shepherd's a calligrapher from way back. Okay, so the alphabet styles here, they have the upper and lower case, but look how many different styles they have for each letter. Thanks, Terry, for putting in all the links, guys. All right. So they've got all the alphabet with half a page of letters for each one. Okay. Intro to bounce, so that your letters kind of flow down, flow up, have more than just perfection. It's going to have your own hand characters to it, depending on how much you ascend and descend your letters. And then lots of lines and practices. And here's doing thin, thick, skinny, slow, fast, even eyes closed. So they have all different kinds of flourishes, how to begin and end a letter, the stroke. Again, this is with brush lettering. This one's going to be with how to draw your letters. Composition, multiple words, photographing your work, lighting, more on composition, the kind of camera, your phone camera, how to use Instagram. No common hashtags to keep on your radar. Hashtag modern calligraphy, hashtag brush lettering, hashtag lettering, hand lettering, modern script, handwritten font, handmade font. So, typography, type matters, pointed pen. I'm just skipping through some of them. Good type, hashtag the daily type, hashtag lettering challenge. So there's tons of hashtags there. Hey, Whippy, good to see you. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Well, I didn't get to tell you Merry Christmas, so Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We're going through books today. I'm doing a little book haul, and I've got about 20 minutes, and then I'm going to be finished. I don't know. Janet has been up for like 24 hours or more, so I don't know that she's going to stream today. I'll let her answer for herself. After I get done streaming here, Hubster and I are going to go take down all the Christmas decorations, take down the live tree out of my... I need to go to Mike's and buy some Tombos and Marvies. You tweeted a picture? Let me look. Oh my gosh, Eileen, I'm afraid to look. I'm afraid to look at an Eileen tweet, but I'm going to look. Let's see, let me find Eileen here. Oh my gosh, you do not need any more Tombos. I don't know if it'll show up. My camera may flash it out, but let's see if I can. There's Eileen's Tombos. In a tub. She's got them in a tub, for goodness sake. Eileen, you're a hoot, Eileen, I tell you. And then here's adding illustrations to your lettering. You know, and you'll see it, the girls that, like a lot of the girls that do Bible journaling will do lettering and like little illustrations with it. So there's that. Here's more little how to draw little flowers, little leaves, and adding them to your alphabets. And I mean, guys, we have some of this lettering stuff that goes way back. I know some of y'all seen, but put my hands on it, maybe another story. Let's see. Here, look. Y'all remember these? Lindsay Ostrom. Do y'all remember these? These are old. These are back from, this is 1999. These books go back to 1998, 99. Now this one right here is your basic. This is calligraphy with a nib. Okay. But she's got hand lettering in here too. See, like this. See? Do y'all remember the Lindsay Ostrom books? This was before I knew Joanne Sharp books. So this one was XYZ. This was LMNOP, more creative lettering. And they're all the Lindsay Ostrom. Do y'all remember? Look. This one was from 1998. You have them all and love them. I know. The ABCs of Creating Lettering. This one was 1997. So, yeah, Janet and I have had these books for 20 years. Oh, my gosh. Can you believe it, Janet? Here's one on better borders. And this was all different borders. So, yeah. Lettering has been around way before we think lettering's been around. Okay, so anyway, that is what the Ultimate Brush Lettering Guide by Peggy Dean. I got to get crack-a-lacking because I got another book to show you here after this one. I got one more after this one. Hand-drawn lettering, draw, print, and paint. So this one is all about, let me tell you some of the things. Getting started, whimsical, colored pencil alphabet, drawing letters, painting letters, making some art, sketchbooks, historical, pen and ink, and it's got subcategories, writing, line, patterned capitals, printing, handmade, collage letters. That's another thing. I saw Mary Altier in her Society Idea Collectors and or her syllables journal. She cut out a whole bunch of words out of magazines. But also, guys, cut your letters out of patterns. I know we've all done it over the years, but just to remind you that you can do that, take something like, let me find a magazine. Well, let me just get a piece of collage, something from a collage here. Like, okay, here's a good example. Okay, so here's something off of a calendar, you know, just say I tore this out of a magazine. I don't know. But you can take and, let's see, which way do I want to go with this? Right here, maybe. Let's do a big T for Terry Trouble. But just hand write, you know, cut out the letters. So if you're afraid to paint your own, if you're afraid to paint them or draw them, take some pretty papers. It can even be scrapbook papers. I think we used to do this with scrapbook papers when we were scrapbooking. But look, see? I can make that a little thinner right there. Make more of a T shape. There we go. See? So use your just bits of your papers out of magazines or whatever, pattern paper, scrapbook paper, and hand cut your letters like that. Okay? Oh yeah, this is a good one. I think you'll need this one, Eileen. Random letters. Yeah, thank you. Random letters. Okay, so and the book itself, this is an eye candy book. But I have one more I'm going to show y'all in a minute. Let me show you this. I'll just give y'all a sneak peek. Here's the last book I'm going to show you is this one. Sketch Your Art Out. Okay, we'll show that one. That's last. Because we're going to run out of time. Got about 30 minutes maybe at the most. Okay, so Yeah, but this one's eye candy. The whole book is just nice eye candy. Introduction. Hand lettering is the art of drawing and painting letters. It's not typography or calligraphy. Calligraphy is based on penmanship and the art of writing letters. Before the 15th century, all books were written out by hand. Monks could spend a lifetime working on a single book, so books were very rare and expensive. The invention of the printing by those men who pioneered movable type and printing presses, and gives names, Gutenberg, the dates, the times, changed everything. Printed books could not be produced. Printed books could be produced quickly and reached many more people. So ideas spread. Literacy levels increased, and the publishing industry was invented. The mechanization of typesetting revolutionized the printing process. With the advent of computers, the design printing process was revolutionized yet again. Designers could have any letter shape they required. This, of course, meant that anyone with a computer could select a typeface and a font size. Rediscovering hand lettering can create results that are thoroughly unique to the individual. The art techniques in lettering in this book are shown in simple step-by-step stages to set you off on a journey of alphabetic creativity. So yeah, hey Tam. The anatomy of a font, understanding letter forms. I mean, the book is just beautiful. It is eye candy. Look at this. Materials. Eileen, do you have every one of these? Janet, do you have every one of these pins? Janet and I have all those pins right there. Probably these. Anyway. Color wheels and different color. Paper history. Has a little thing about watercolor, rough paper, hot press, cold press. Historical. Terry's already zipped up that, put that Amazon link up there. And I did get this one at Barnes & Noble. Hand-drawn lettering, draw, print, and paint by Max Marlborough. Okay. The first writing, and they have like reeds, symbols, the first letters. And I love the history of lettering, the history of alphabets, world, lettering. I love all that. Constructed capitals, watercolor alphabet. So you can see, your lettering doesn't have to necessarily be perfect and precise, This is the hand lettering kind, as opposed to perfectly done brush lettering or calligraphy with the nibs. This is hand drawing them. Manuscripts and illuminated. This I wish I had time to do a cartoon that I have in my head. A comic. I'm not, I haven't really practiced enough in doing comic books, but I have a comic book in my head. I have a comic book, well, I have the ideas written down, and I have an old blog that I started to do that from, a story that I wrote. I think that's probably, have I had that one 15 years? I don't know. I got that. That's a 15-year-old idea I got going on. Anglo-Saxon, drawing letters. Here's some hand-drawn ones. Hand-drawn ones on a tone paper. So you can see they're hand-drawn. Printing press, Gothic style letters, and see how they're different painty, So you can hand draw these and paint them. You need to, oh yeah, this is a good one. This is a good one, especially if you're less likely, and I'm not meaning this in a bad way. If you're less likely to, well, maybe I do. If you're less likely to put in the hours of practice to do calligraphy or brush lettering, then maybe just hand drawing them is for you. Okay? Rather than learning the precision and skill of brush lettering and calligraphy, maybe the hand drawing might be for you. colored pencil alphabet, inky alphabet. This is all like, looks like it's drawn with like maybe gel pens or ballpoint pens. Drawing letters, whimsical illuminated lettering. And look, see how it's kind of got that Tisha Moore vibe of you know, wavy lines, drawing on wavy lines. Painting letters, and then here's all different things on patterns, techniques to do patterns. And look, the Zentangle type, you know, tangling type, the brush pit markers. The thing about those, the CBC is, now I don't know about the big, wide, thick ones, the bigger ones, but the regular pit pens, they're kind of like my watercolor, the Kuretake, they're tiny. So if you're going to write small, the pit brush pen, the regular size, are like this size. So it's going to be fine for writing small. But to me, I think the best way to practice your brush lettering is going to be a little bigger. So probably your Tombos are going to be the better for practicing. Let me show you this difference in size. Like here's the Kuretake, and the pit brush pens are about this size. And here's the Tombow. Can you see the difference? So when you go to do lettering, even if with full pressure, you know, again, that's kind of not. So there's with my watercolor. And again, I haven't practiced this, guys. I just, you know, I am used to doing a little painting and stuff, but, you know, making brush letters. And then here's the thicker one. Okay, now this is stiff, though. I didn't realize that these are so stiff. These are way stiffer. So the thin ones, the watercolor brushes will expand more. They expand more. Maybe it's because of the watercolor, or maybe it's just the way that these Kuretakes are made. But I'm thinking that the pits, and I have one here somewhere, the pit brush pens are more stiff, like these. Like the Tombos are stiffer. It's not as flexible. These are much more flexible. So we'll have to just play. So the pits, let me see if I got one handy. I know I got one here somewhere. I'm thinking they're not flexible either. This is the extra small. Okay, this is the extra, hang on, that's just the pen. Where's my marker? I know I got a pit marker here somewhere. Well, I'm not finding it, guys, sorry. But I'm thinking they're not flexible. But they could be. The Kuretake's a real brush, the Tombo's a nib, yeah. So, anyway, I have these I was thinking these for smaller letters because of it's so small. But we'll see. We'll have to practice. And then I also have the Artist Loft. These are the Artist Loft watercolor ones. These are the budget friendly, if you will. And you can see they're wide too. Let's see what happens with that. Yeah, they're stiffer too. These feel just like the Tombow. I think we compared them. They're the same size as the Tombow. They're the same size as the Tombow. These Artist Loft. But if you can't afford the Tombow, then look at the Artist Loft brand because they're half the price. And then with the coupon, it's half of that price. I think I got these for $5 with a 50% off coupon. 5 or 6. I think they're normally 12. And I think I got it with a 50 and maybe an additional 10. Anyway, I got them for like $5 or $6 for the set of Artist Loft. So, yeah. Okay, let's get back to this book. So I got one more book after this, and we're going to run out of time. We're going to run out of time. All right, so here's like Zentangling letters. Hey, Jerry. Anybody else popping in? I'm sure some more people are popping in. CB put in a link for the Kuretakes. Yeah, they're the Kuretake Clean Color Watercolor. Clean Brush. What is it called again? Kuretake, hang on. It has a long name on them. Zig Clean Color Real Brush by Kuretake. Zig Clean Color Real Brush. Now I know Zig Clean Color has some of the felt tip type like the Tombos. These are the real brush watercolor, and they're not cheap. Eileen sent me a set, so I know they're not cheap. Okay, let's make some art. Make some art. Can y'all see okay? Hope it's a little light, but the colors are really about that color right there. But I didn't want to flash it out too much. Okay, sketchbooks. Keeping sketchbooks. Keep your sketchbooks, binders, whatever it is you want to doodle in. And here's some on pen and ink, loose brush strokes. And see, this is the kind of thing I love to do with ink. I love to make letters with ink, but I'm not this messy. It's hard for me to do messy letters. That's why I took that, who was it that I took that class with, where we had to write messy? That was hard for me. It was hard for me to write messy. And then different scripts. Here's Japanese, how to write thank you, best regards. And then here's just, just eye candy. It's an awesome book. Picture writing. Here's the big brush letter calligraphy. I've done some of this, but it's been years. This is probably the closest thing I've ever done to brush lettering. But it was more like to do the Japanese characters, the Chinese brush characters rather than like writing English. But we did some of that when we did calligraphy. But I didn't keep up with it. I didn't keep up. I didn't practice. I just did plain old calligraphy with the nibs. And so it takes practice. All of it does, guys. Pen and brush here. Bye, Deanie. Thanks for coming in. Here's on watercoloring. So, and again, you can see these are not neat. They're not meant to be. Writing, line stitching, like, the cross stitch writing. Pattern capitals. Look at these. Oh, and I love illuminated letters. I've got tons of books on illuminated lettering, how to do it, and just samples of it. I love, this isn't illuminated, but I like these patterns. Pattern alphabet, and this one's done, it looks like it's done in Molly's. Yeah, I did my Inktober drawings, just, yeah, I did my Inktober drawings to kind of keep my hand in inking. But it's not my first love. Inking is not my first love. I love calligraphy, and when I was good at it, I still do, some certificates and stuff. But back when I was like in the guilds and all that, you kind of lose your hand with it if you don't keep it up. If you don't keep practicing. So I'm not near as good at it as I used to be. Making art letter pictures. Here's using all kinds of letters. So anyway, I did the Inktober I've done it for three years now, just to keep my hand in inking. But it's not my first love. That's why I said I'd love to do a comic book because I have the comic book in my head. But the whole comic book inking process isn't like, it doesn't just grab me yet. The idea's in my head, but maybe I should just draw it. I don't know. Collage letters. Oh, here, this is what I was talking about with this. Like the random thing here, like this. Cutting them out like this. Here, look. Isn't that cool? This would be great for your syllables 2018, week by week. Cut you out your letters January, February, or just do 1 month. You don't have to do them all the same. I'd get bored probably doing every month the same. But, you know, to do variety. Or you could just do this in different colors and stuff like that. So, yeah, and there's stencils for that. There are stencils, but I probably have some stencils like that laying around. I know Janet probably does. Bye, Scoobs. Yeah, I'm going to record after this one. If y'all are having to leave, I'll record this. Sketch Your Art Out. This is an awesome book, too. Another eye candy. So I want to try to get to that in a minute because we're running out of time. Cutouts and collage. A letter spiral. Look at that. I could just sit here, drink a cup of coffee, and stare at this for a long time. A long time. And then it would make me want to pick up a pencil. Painted plates. Look, that's cool. There's a whole world right there. There's a whole business venture right there. Stencil lettering, and this is with stencils, and we all have had these kind of, you know, if you don't have the metal ones, I know you've had the manila folder colors, they come in yellow and brown paper stencils. Paper folding, a little bit of origami, graph papers, drawing shadows, and these are fun too. These are these look good in a journal. If you're art journaling or any kind of journaling, if you hand do these kind of funky letters, don't make them perfect. See how none of those are perfect? It just makes a cool title or a bullet journal, A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, 4, and in these kind of lettering. It looked like a pour when Debbie's pour, Debbie's acrylic pour. Yeah, she did I saw her do the light switch and a couple other things. And then carving and printing. Of course, y'all know we've all carved our stamps. We've carved our share of stamps here. I don't know if I have. Let me see. Here's my current box that I'm using out of. Wait. Let's see, get this box down. I've got my Christmas lights on it. These are my new January. These are my new planner ones. But I might have a couple. Here's my bee right on top. I have been looking for this bee for a month, guys. And I put a bunch of my stamps in this box so I would use them. And there's my hand-carved bee. Oh, my gosh. I have been looking and looking and looking. Y'all don't know how I had Cameron go through every one of my stamps when he was here at Thanksgiving. I could not find my hand-carved bee for nothing. I love my bee. Now, I didn't ink it up very well. I probably should use my, let's see, let's put my stays on here. It's nice and juicy. This one's new. I've been looking and looking and looking for my bee. So happy to find my bee. This is one of my favorites that I've ever carved. I should have checked. Terry said you should have checked in the stamp box. I've got multiple stamp boxes. I know, that's the sad part, right? And so yeah, I'm gonna leave that out. Leave my bee out because I want to use my bee. But I have other ones I've carved in here too. But there's all different ones in here. There's all different. Here's the little set, the Jane ones that I have here. I should probably leave I haven't ever used these. And some of the sets and the lettering, the planner type sets that I got in here. But I was looking for some more of my hand carved ones in here. I know there's some more in here. But anyway, we won't go through that right now because we're going to run out of time. Planner stamps, okay. But I'm happy to find my bee. So carving and printing, and you can either get you can get this thicker stuff that's made for carving. It's very soft and flexible. Or you can get the Magic Rub, the small erasers that are about that big, about this big. The Magic Rub erasers. They're perfect for carving smaller stamps. Thank you. You got my bunny. Yeah, I don't know where my bunny one is either. Don't make me go look right now, Darcy. I don't know where my bunny one is either. I have a hand-carved bunny stamp. Oh my gosh, where is that one? Ah! Oh, ask and you shall receive, Darcy. Here's my hand-carved rabbit trail. Close this back up so I don't get it everywhere. So here's my, I think, no, I thought that was on a magic rub. I don't think it, yeah, maybe it is. Anyway, the magic rub erasers are about this size. But there's my hand-carved rabbit trail. So when we go on a rabbit trail, I used to put this on all my envelopes. Okay, well, now I'm glad to find some of those. Okay, and hi, Darcy, by the way. We're looking through this book, Hand-Drawn Lettering, Draw, Print, and Paint, Max Marlborough. I got this at Barnes & Noble day before yesterday, 2 days ago. Inspiration. So here's a bunch of different inspiration pages in the back, i.e. eye candy. And then all these, if y'all remember all the old clip art books, I got tons of clip art books with old lettering in them. Before we had internet, we had clip art books. So yeah, I'll be playing this. I'll probably chill after I take down all the Christmas decorations and play in this book for a while. The last book I want to show you guys before we head out. We have probably 5 to 10 minutes. You just bought it? Hey, Joycey, you bought it, Beanie. I know. The thing is all these books are awesome, but you got to use them. You got to do something with them. Right? Okay, so the last one I'm going to show y'all today in the book haul is Sketch Your Art Out, a skill and style activity guide. Katie Lipscomb and Tyler Fisher. They're a husband and wife team. I got my ink all over my hands. Now, this book to me, I bought it mostly for the eye candy and to show you guys. I gotta say, it's a lot of basic sketching stuff and using a sketchbook, ideas for using a sketchbook, and I've got probably tons of books like this or already know this stuff. But that being said, you never can pass up eye candy. You will get inspiration. So even if I knew everything in this book, the inspiration of looking through this book is totally worth the price, which the price was $19.99. I did get this one at Barnes & Noble with one of my gift cards. Gotta love those gift cards. And there's the link from Terry. Okay, and it's a look how it's a sewn bound book with all the signatures. So you're probably paying, most of what you're paying for is that right there. You're paying for that binding. That's probably what you're paying for. It lies flat. It was out in last year, 2017. It got a little flashed out. Maybe I need to turn the brightness down just a little now that it's got really bright outside. There we go. That's a little better. There we go. And it's their sketchbooks. It's their sketchbooks and their ideas. Now, it's not their full-on sketchbooks. I have books that are sketchbook, people's actual sketchbooks, like, let me grab one to show you, like, this is a good one probably to show. And I have lots of tabs in it because we've looked at this book before, like Street Sketchbook. And there's a second one. There's a second volume to this too. Tristan Manco, Inside the Journals of International Street and Graffiti Artists. There's a book 2 of this. I don't have book 2, but here again, look, eye candy. And this I'm just going to try. This is a Chronicle book. Anything by Chronicle book is awesome. I was just going to try to get you the copyright date on this one. This one's 2007. So this one's about 10 years old. And the other one is probably maybe 2009 or 10. So, but anyway, and I got to be careful when I show it because, you know, it's street art stuff and some of it, you know, might not be family friendly, but it's all their different sketchbooks. It's their different sketchbooks and what they put in them. I love this book. This is awesome. And you can see we've gone through it, we've tagged it, we've flagged it, we've talked about it. Yeah, I know it's that eye candy, right? And this is the first one. So there's Street Sketchbook 2, I think. I don't know. And the other one that I want to show you is the one I got at my museum. And me and Cam both have this one. It's up here on my coloring section. Let me see if I can find it. Ah, here it is. This one's also good. Now, I don't know where you can get this one because I bought this one at my High Museum in Atlanta. And it's called Outside the Lines Street Art Doodle Book, compiled by Dave the Chimp. And Cam and I both got this. We bought it in 2012. Bought it in 2012, and it was like 25 bucks. 20 bucks. And it's all these street artists. But it's a color book made from their street art. And I've doodled in it a little bit, but not a whole lot. I bought it for the eye candy. Let's just be honest. I bought this for the eye candy. And Cam and I both got a copy of this. We both grabbed it. I think there was 2 copies there, and we both got one. So anyway, that one is called Outside the Lines Street Art Doodle Book. The ISBN on it, in case I don't know, I've not ever looked for it on Amazon or anywhere else. But it's 978-1-85669-681. So yeah, both of these have, I love them. I love them. I can pet them. I'll sit and get my coffee and pet. Well, pet. Yeah. That's what you, look at those, GTO. Okay, so let's go back to this one. Sketch your art out. Okay. And they're drawings and sketches and ideas by both of them. And it's meant for you to doodle in. It's meant for you to do your own in. Oh my gosh, you should see behind me. I have literally 2 bookshelves full of stuff behind me on the floor. And I got to go take down the Christmas decorations. So what you'll find in this book, Sketch Your Art Out teaches the fundamentals of keeping an artist's sketchbook. And now, when you say fundamentals, you think, oh, well, we all know how to do that. But look at it. Look, just the inspiration of this one double-page spread. I don't care how many sketchbooks you keep. Just looking at this should give you inspiration. You got it with the ISBN? Oh, it is on Amazon. Okay, Terry got it. It is on Amazon with the ISBN. Thanks, Terry. How much is it now on Amazon? Because that book's 5 years old. Is it still? Because remember, what was it? We got the What You Mean, What's a Zine? When we showed that book. And then I think Terry went and looked it up on Amazon. It was down to $1.99, and we bought them out. And then it went up to like 20 bucks or something. Okay, so about the authors, here's her and him, and a little love story. They met at art school. Anyone can draw. The secret is the sketch. Why start a sketch, where to sketch, and see it's got bullet points all the way through, and little activities for you to do. And again, whether or not if you do these kind of question and answers and activities in a book or in your own journals, your own planners and sketchbooks and binders and notebooks, it's $15. Oh, okay, good, yeah. Well, that's a good price then, because I paid $19 for it. Well, $19.99. What to include in your sketchbook, setting up your studio, and look, there's a little list for you to do, to question and brainstorm, ideas, listing some inspiration, list artists that inspire you, list of works of art that inspire you, your favorite concepts and subjects. See, all this stuff, it's all good, people. It's all good. what's in Katie's toolbox, Tyler's tool of the trade. So you can see they use a little bit different kind of pens. He uses more like drafting pencils, microns, non-photo blue, bone folder. She's using the gel pens, the Prismacolors, the polychromos, paints, watercolors, and inks. Build your toolbox. Don't let your materials rule your art. Basics of sketching, the thumbnail, and then it gives you little places to make your own practices. Build a composition. Rely on diagonals, using a viewfinder, and we've talked about that before. I don't have my viewfinder handy. You can make a viewfinder so easy. Let me show you. Let me see if I can get a black piece of paper. Okay, well, I don't have a black one here. I'll just use this because I want it to show up. You can make a viewfinder for yourself so easy just by taking and making, or you can use an old mat and cut it up. Cut your mat down. Just do this, and like this. So essentially you have a frame cut down, right? Like this. So that's why I said if you have an old mat. And then look, this is how you'll have a viewfinder for this size, and look, you'll have a viewfinder down to any size you want. See? So if you want to, like, just take this and look out your window and put this around your tree in your yard, and then start doing this, and you'll see exactly what happens. Okay? And so you can make your own viewfinder with just 2 pieces of paper. Okay. Sketches, graphite, and see, this is their own sketches. I love this. A quick review. Make this your review sheet. What have you learned? Answer these questions. What are your goals? How do you feel about beginning this sketching journey? I mean, and I've been sketching for over 50 years. Well, probably 55 years. And I still love this beginner sketchbook. Ways to shade, hatching, cross-hatching, scribbling, stippling. Shading 3D objects, learning to throw shade. Paula, we're throwing shade. I don't know if Paula's still here. Hello, mermaid. I got to get through this book because we're going to run out of time like in 3-4 minutes. So, step by step, drawing a mouse. I mean, like your computer mouse. Perspective, finding your horizon, different points of perspective, 1 point, 2 point. Drawing the different perspective if you do buildings. I don't enjoy this. Sometimes you have to do this, but yeah, it's not my favorite. I would never have been an architect unless that was the last thing in the creative tool shed. I don't like it. It's too precise. Try it out below. Drawing from life. Drawing hard or hardly drawing. Pros and cons. And I should say buildings. There's difference to me from taking your items and drawing, having one far away. See how small that one is and how big this one is. This is a different kind of perspective to me than buildings. I don't mind this kind of perspective. I'll draw this all day. I just don't want to draw buildings and windows and doors. Oh my. Working reductively, texture, expert, fur, scales, feathers, long and flowy, short fur, long fur, fur it out, try it out. Okay, Jean. Oh, hey, Jean. Do hope I didn't seem underwhelmed when I got the email last night, but I didn't want to cry on camera. Oh, you're welcome, Jean. Jennifer Crackalacken set up a little thank you, Jean, for hosting the Streamathon fund, and so everybody that wanted to could contribute. And Jean got the email last night during her stream, and she said she hoped she didn't seem underwhelmed last night when she got the email during her stream, but she didn't want to cry on camera. You're welcome, Jean. Jennifer set that up. Jennifer Crackalacken. Jennifer Minis. Yeah. So, yeah. Spend it creatively. And I know you will. I have about 5 minutes left, Jean. I've been here for going on close to 3 hours, and we're going to run out of time. If the video does happen to stop and you're watching the recording, yeah, sorry. I'm trying to hurry through all these books, but we have our rabbit trails. Quick review on that. Then here's one section on colored pencils, different types, shading, blending. He and she talk about Derwent, Colorsoft, Prismacolor, Polychromo, Staedtler, Crayola, Rose Art, all different kinds, budget friendly to more expensive. Shading with colored pencils, burnishing. Here's a little koi fish here for you to practice on. And then this is out of one of their sketchbooks. What is color theory? Tips and tricks on the color pencil on this side. Color wheel, reinventing the wheel. Tint versus shade, throw in shade. Here's tint, create your own color scheme, warm versus cool. Monochromatic, I can't say this word, analog, tongue twister. Complementary, adding definition to wet media. And here they did a little wolf, howling wolf with paint here. Rendering images, break it down, talking about breaking everything down in shapes. Y'all seen we do our animal drawings on the big scroll. It's awesome, guys. If you have not tried to draw big, just get a big piece of a big roll of the shipping paper, the craft colored shipping paper. You can get it for $3. Michael's, Hobby Lobby, probably at UPS store. Probably more expensive there, but at the hobby stores, it's just the roll of craft paper. Unfurl that baby out and draw an animal this big, like you've seen us do here. You will be surprised at how much you learn by drawing something huge. Draw it big. You will see. Sample from life. Imagine a dragon. They drew a wing here, and you have to finish it. Some blank pages. Quick review on that. Then we go into pen and ink. I'm sorry, I'm really hurrying, guys, because I know we're going to run out of time. Like any second, it's going to stop us. Intro to pen, shading with pen. Here again, the hatching, the cross hatching, the scribbling and the stippling, also known as pointillism. Ballpoint or nothing. If y'all have never drawn with a ballpoint Bic pen, that's an awesome exercise. Blind contour, try it upside down. That's one of the drawing on the right hand side of the brain. Very important to check your work, even if you don't draw upside down. Like it's a good practice, but to check your work. If you're drawing like a photo, you're doing a portrait. I do pet portraits and people portraits. I always turn everything upside down and check your everything. You will immediately see where you've gone wrong in a drawing by looking at it upside down. Okay, I just got the thing to say I've got to stop the video. I will show this book again on another show because I'm going to go ahead and stay here with the girls for a minute, but I have to save the recording. So it just gave me the signal. So I will show this book again if you're watching the recording. So, yeah.